Now broadcasting from the Next Gen Conservative Studio in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report with Sam Whitfield.
Yeah.
Well, folks,
it's good when it plays, Sam. Sorry, continue.
It is. No, I'm glad that you actually like the riff, because like some people,
I do, but I'm saying
they don't like it.
Because its branding is outdated, we are going to eventually update the intro, but I want Shmuley to do it in his professional voice, just like that guy did. And I want to have it more like the same riff, though, that do, but with more bass and more sounding like a West Coast gangster rap song. Unless the audience has another idea. That's what I want to go with for the new, like, moving into the new era of the Whitfield Report. Speaking of which, did Morpheus say he couldn't make it tonight?
Yeah, Morpheus is out sick, and sadly Melanie Mack is not there to take care of him.
Oh yeah, there you go. Chat's gonna be super happy because with us tonight, filling in is the cult hero, the protagonist of the Whitfield Report, if you will, Shmuley.
Hello, good to be on the show.
Kitten energy.
The black kitten energy.
Great.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, Shmuley. How have you been?
Doing quite well. Just sticking to it, trying to progress a little bit, trying to get a little bit further than I was.
That's how you'd be.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good. Already in the chat, Dino Nuggy is already here.
Oh, shout out to Dino Nuggy. Yeah. Dino Nuggy was it 117 on Rumble.
Yeah. It's already saying Shmuley sucks. Schmugly boo. Now listen, Dino Nuggy, I don't know what your deal is. We don't get Shmuley here very often. I'm happy to have him. I know Max is.
Look, there is just a contingent that they're not happy with Smugly.
Dino Nuggy has air traffic controller energy.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, we might need to.
Hold up. Is that some kind of racist remark?
No.
Okay.
We may need to explain that at some point during the show, but over the weekend, folks, it appears that we almost got into World War III over the weekend.
Sam wanted to bury the lead, ladies and gentlemen. He titled the show World War III, and he was like, let's talk about the FAA story. Go on, Sam. What happened that you titled the show after?
So apparently, Iran sent drones up against Israel, and that caused a bit of a scare.
It upset a couple people. Just one or two.
Riveting, Sam. What great insight do you have?
No, that was the best, Sam. That's the story, though. He's a journalist.
I love your sarcasm there. They're smuggling what is riveting is people already
now Sam understands why Dino Nuggy is not a fan of Smugly all the time.
It was a retaliation, right? Is that not the thing? It was a retaliation for what, Sam? What event?
Yeah, a retaliation for what?
Supposedly because Israel attacked Iran or something.
They attacked a building that had a bunch of their guys in there that were helping, right? The Quds force. If I'm obviously mispronouncing it because I don't speak freaking Iranian, right?
They got some chutzpah. Yep.
But like they were all clustered together in an embassy of sort, right? And Israel
Probably
blew it
sucking
up.
each other's dicks because that's what they do.
Israel blew it up as one is prone to do.
Well,
right?
you got it's a room full of dick suckers,
And so yeah, they got angry. Apparently, they
They didn't even let them come. They blew them up. Of course, they're angry.
Reporting is that they basically signaled to other powers in the region that they were going to do some sort of attack. They were pretty public about it. They launched a large number of slow-moving drones and then hypersonic missiles. It seems as though Israel was able to intercept the vast majority of the drones and cruise missiles. And apparently Israel was targeting Air Force bases and military bases within Israel, and all they seemed to be able to destroy was like a AC-130 and then one ethnic minority girl there. I forget which one, but yeah.
So that
we got Silly Kelly 420 in the chat says, I came in and Max is talking about dick sucking. Hey, what is it called? Bakabazi or whatever?
Well,
they do that shit.
Yeah. Well, that was a terrific summary, Shmuley. That was way more informative than my neighbor who came up to me on the street over the weekend and was like, Sam, World War III has started. Oh my God. And then I look and yeah, Israel did attack Iran, or I guess did a counter strike. That doesn't necessarily mean that World War III has started. But my question is do you guys think that World War III is looming? Because
what did I say before, Sam? I said that in a week, nothing will have happened like that, and people will already have started to forget about it. And it's Wednesday. We're already kind of there. The news cycle moves in 48 hours. So if nothing else big happens, then move on to the next thing.
Can I make the case for both, Sam? The things that would tell me that it's not going to happen is right now, Israel and Iran are basically trading blows, but in a way that is not necessarily let's go to war.
Glancing blows, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It is a sort of tit for tat kind of scenario. It's
a dick measuring contest in the most low brow of terms.
Those kind of things can turn into a war
easily because chaos breeds a situation where anything could happen. Assassinations are always a possibility. Those kick off wars. There's definitely it's a powder keg for sure. But that doesn't necessarily mean I think people are these kind of things. It's more like a domino and a chain of dominoes, right? In my personal opinion, the path to war is there, and we're not straying from it, right? But the path to war is a couple more dominoes down the line than just the fucking drone attack and I think a lot of people want that, at least a release of people feel like they're waiting around for something to happen to some degree, right? And they look at the news and it's always not quite the thing. That's why you'll hear the people that talk about civil war as if it's a good idea or something.
In order for Israel
release
and Iran,
the pressure, if you will.
In order for Israel,
it's not usually like that. It usually happens over time. Sorry, Shmuley, go ahead.
Right.
Well, just in order for Israel and Iran to do essentially anything resembling a full-blown war other than just bombing each other, requires their military to basically move into the nations in between.
Yeah, in some of the harshest terrain in the world, mind you.
Now, the Saudis are not a huge fan of Iran, and so in any kind of conflict, it's very likely that the Saudis would end up aligning themselves. You have Jordan, another non-trivial sort of nation that would come to the aid of this sort of coalition. These are all countries that are basically mad, and then Iran has Syria and somewhat Iraq. Iraq's kind of
Mhm.
friendly with them. They're kind of the wild card in the situation. I don't foresee anything like a massive war. So and even if there was something resembling a war, I think that what you would see is essentially the United States give weapons to Israel.
Right.
It
Like
wouldn't
we
turn
already
it.
are.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't turn into a world war. Now, I could make the case, and now I will make the case of the looming World War III. What we're seeing is essentially the breakdown of the.
Can I make a prediction of what you're gonna say real quick in one word?
Well,
China.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is basically the breakdown of like the consensus that we had. And you have all of these regional powers that are kind of like they're all just doing their own thing. Iran, China, Russia, they're all skeptical of each other,
Stepping on each other's toes, but not too hard.
not too hard. And I could
Mhm.
see a situation in which Russia has attacked Ukraine. Therefore, it incentivizes the other countries to be able to make moves in their region because they can't defeat us all, kind of a mentality. Basically, the United States and to a lesser extent Europe will be spread so thin and literally cannot produce enough weapons, cannot put enough men on the ground to do anything if we all attack at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the World War II situation, because a lot of people think of World War II, they think of like the Axis powers as having been this like strong coalition that decided like we are the Axis powers and we're going to work lockstep. Not at all the case.
No, absolutely not.
And
I mean,
I have been wrong. Like, this is the thing. Like, I have been kind of consistent.
What? When?
Well, wrong in the sense that I kind of projected my own view of the world being like an American and thinking about strategies and wealth and wealth building and how you do things as somebody who comes from a country that engages in naval power and wealth building and capitalism. And I projected that onto leaders who are from continental powers, right? They are fundamentally like not capitalistic in their thinking. They're
Yes.
sort of
Right.
proto or communist in thinking.
Well, I've been saying in talking with our German friend, it's like that mentality of nostalgia towards the Soviet era in a lot of these places, whether or not it was good for them then. It's been a generation or two, and kind of like these essentially Soviet Zoomers are having nostalgia for the 80s, just like American Zoomers are, even though they didn't live through it. And so it's an easier sell to younger people too. You know what I mean?
From what I've seen in Russia, it's largely boomers who are the ones
It's boomers
raising the hammer.
and Zoomers, ironically enough. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but I could.
Well, it's part of the it's part of the patriot aesthetic of some of the ones going to war. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say Zoomers.
Yeah, I will say that I have seen a ton of what you're saying. It's kind of like this general like the Russian Empire flag, and then some of them have the World War II victory flag for sure. Which
it's not direct.
Yeah,
and they're not calling for communism.
Yeah.
It's a nostalgia for that aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Which also includes like loyalty to Vlad because it's a very like paternal, fascistic sort of mindset.
Yeah. Their criticism of Vlad kind of goes along the line of like, why aren't we just attacking NATO? Like, why aren't we more belligerent and willing to sacrifice millions of lives?
I even mean fascistic and not like necessarily a derogatory, but that's been like the general consensus why they keep electing Vlad. Some of it is the way they run elections might not be the greatest ever. But some of it is an actual like belief in him as like the benevolent father figure of modern Russia in its direst of time. Like he's been there for us in the past, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And that nostalgia also wavering in with like the Soviet aesthetic with younger people. Like they have kind of like their own vapor wave, kind of, if you will, that's like Soviet wave, right?
Well,
And the actual soldier,
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit they're listening to. Like the actual guys that are fighting, if you're gonna consume patriotic propaganda from days of yore, it's probably gonna be similar to the hammer and sickle, right?
Well, I would just say that like that's kind of the trapping of a thing. It's just that the Soviet Union was an empire like all of the pre-modern empires.
Yeah, but they're not. But what I'm saying is the boomers are doing it for nostalgia. The kids are doing it for nostalgia. They're not like proposing an actual system, right?
Sure.
But Vlad and like the people around him are using that to kind of craft the system as they want it, because he's seen as and the more the world kind of cuts them off, the more he's able to kind of push this message that he's the benevolent and being persecuted, and so are you on because of it, right? For supporting me. I mean, that's how his supporters are going to see it, right? That's the message he's giving.
I agree.
Step on you.
I mean, my point is just that like it is this zero sum like Mongolian empire kind of thinking. It like the Soviet Union had it. That's what I was trying to say. It's just like that. And actually, I would say that there was a period of time.
We need more land and more babies. And we got to take it by any means necessary. Yeah.
There was
a period, sorry again, go on.
There was a period of time in which the United States was engaged in this kind of thing. There was a period of time in which the United States was a continental power on the rise. And that is when we, conquered from one side of this continent to the other side, either through, purchasing land or fighting.
Destiny. Yep.
Yeah. Waging war against the locals at
like we have an actual term for it, and it was a legal strategy.
Yep. And at a certain point, once we had gained this, we industrialized, we kind of became a world player. Actually, it makes more sense to build a massive navy. The British destroyed themselves in World War II through their like suicidal stuff. We become de facto, and we double down on what the British did, actually do it to its fullest extent. And now we look at the world and we go, well, why is Kim Jong-un willing to rule in hell? Right? Why is Vladimir Putin more willing to send hundreds of thousands of Russians to the death to take Ukraine when he could have created some kind of like mutually beneficial system?
Right. And I think a lot of this in the Russian front, I guess, does hinge on the election. I think he's looking towards the result of that, because I do think that and both of them have said, Zelensky and Putin, that they would be willing to hear Trump out. Right? Of course they would say that, because that's a political, thing they might get asked, right? And they both said, they'd hear him out. They didn't commit to anything else other than hearing him out, but that's a start.
I think they would hear him out. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no. All I was going to say is, from what I've heard, Max, and granted, this rumor has been going on for years. But there have been rumors that like Putin has like he has some sort of like unknown, strange terminal cancer. And so there's thinking that like for whatever reason, he kind of wants to take Ukraine and kind of restore Russia.
Suicidal because he's sick. I won't necessarily deny or confirm that. It's kind of irrelevant. But what I will say is this: he's old. Whether he has a disease or not,
I don't necessarily
staring down the barrel of mortality. I'm much younger than him, and I faced that bullet myself. Right?
Well, I don't necessarily see how that's irrelevant, though. I mean, I guess
no. I'm not saying it's irrelevant.
I can see your point.
I'm saying the motivation can be the same without the theory, right? That he's old, so maybe he knows he's going to die either way, and he's trying to cement his legacy, whether or not he has a cancer, right? That's what I'm saying. You might be right whether there's a cancer or not, is what I might mean to say.
Well, my point, my overall point with that though is, because people get hung up on the whole cancer thing, but the point that I and a lot of people are bringing that up is
The legacy
he
thing is what's
basically in his
important with
mind
it.
has nothing left. Yeah, legacy, and also I have nothing left to lose, so fuck it, baby.
And we don't
Basically.
just, it's another old man in power. Like, how do we know how competent he is? Yeah, he's more competent than Joe Biden, but that's a low bar.
Yeah, and
He
Well, it'd be
seemed
hard.
rambly and kind of autistic in the last speech I saw with him, which was the Tucker thing, right?
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say, like, I can empathize with him to some degree, right? I imagine if I was president
He's not
of,
gone by any stretch.
well, he's a man that's knowingly deep seated in narratives that are historic, right?
Yeah.
And he's somewhat of a realist in a sense. And that's kind of how he grounds himself. So I can definitely empathize with him in that way. I think that if I was president of the United States, I would feel a certain duty long term, and I would feel kind of being part of a chain that goes back to thousands of years. Like, there is kind of an awesome sense of responsibility or whatnot, and I think that if you kind of take that lens of the world, and like I said, think about it from a continental power point of view, not a capitalistic Western understanding of building wealth,
Right.
mutually beneficial kind of a deal, his actions make sense. He is a thug in charge of a country that is
that almost seems to need a thug.
yeah.
Yeah. Or they beg for it
Yeah.
anyway. Maybe they
Yeah.
don't need it, but they beg for it.
Yes.
That's been their history. You're
and
correct.
and they're willing to send 30,000-40,000 men to die in a war to gain this amount of land.
And then there's the ever present on their own doing a separate thing. A lot of times people are like Russia and China. Now, from our perspective, yes, both of these countries are threats, but make no mistake, they are not like fucking, okay? They're, maybe like a booty call once every couple years at 3 a.m. when they get lonely, okay? But most of the time, they're actually slandering each other on Facebook, okay? That's the kind of relationship they have.
Well,
there's some loving once in a blue moon, okay? But there's a lot of fucking fighting too, and I think people underestimate that. They just, because they're so close, one, and their interests do conflict in a lot of cases. Their interests align in some cases too, and they're both very cutthroat in that regard. Where if it aligns, we're gonna go all in on it, and if it doesn't align, we're gonna talk as much shit as possible and try and fuck with each other.
You can look this up.
They step on each other's toes, but they don't do anything that could provoke any military response because that's dumb.
At one point in the Cold War, the Soviet Union proposed to the United States a plan in which both of us would nuke communist China.
Yes.
They share a larger border.
Yeah.
It was
with
in the
China.
70s, actually.
Yeah. They share a larger border with China than they do with NATO.
Yes. Much
even if Ukraine joined NATO.
Yes.
So in this sort of continental power play, yes, they have what? A common enemy, the United States, right? They share a common rival. But any kind of weakness or whatnot is going to be taken advantage of by either side.
Yeah, because they're out for as much as they can get, not just from us.
Yes.
That's what the China expansion into the seas, around there, the South China Sea and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what that's about. And also they're putting military bases on some of these artificial islands that they're making so that they're staging points for Taiwan. They're making it very obvious that it's a power play, not just to us, but to everybody. China's more subtle with its power plays than Russia, though. Ukraine is nothing more than a fucking power play by Putin, if you boil it down. China is setting up and saying, like, hey, we got snipers pointed at you guys' heads. You should negotiate. It's very sneaky.
To be fair, though,
the Chinese are very sneaky. Can I say that, Sam? Is that allowed, Sam?
Yeah. Yes.
The Chinese government is very sneaky. Sorry.
No. You can say the Chinese, or I think this audience knows that when you say the Chinese, you mean the Chinese government.
Yeah, that's
I
what
mean,
I
I
mean. It's not
I
every
I
Chinese
think
person I've ever met.
I think I think the other I think the other thing though.
The
Oh boy,
Chinese,
Mexico.
the Chinese are sneaky.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I
You
think
heard that,
another I
audience.
think
Sam is
another
a horrible racist. Look at this.
you
Look at this yellow hate over here.
you you started hey hey hey
I'll have you know
I
that's an
hate all
offensive stereotype, Sam.
I hate all commies equally. I don't care what skin color they are.
That's fair. Commies are
Can
sneaky
can we
too.
can we yeah, can we still say the word commie? I know that like communist is better, but like yeah, let's bring back
What
the
about
term red,
Pinko? Actually,
shall we?
shout out to Grim Jim. He was. I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, but I'm a raving commie Pinko," and I'm like, "Bro, you're canceled, and you're like a free speech guy. Shut the fuck up. Quit crying about it." But he called himself a Pinko, and I thought that was funny. We should start saying Pinko more often, huh? I feel like Pinko's
Well,
it's kind of archaic, but that's our deal, right? We take like some older terms and bring like broads, right? We brought broads back. We're bringing dames. You know, we keep it classy, and so we could bring back that and maybe multiple variations of the N word, huh? Huh? No, that's too much.
meh. Well, maybe we had like a black co-host or something.
We did, but Morpheus
know-
isn't here tonight.
Well,
Also,
he's
I mean, yeah, we could find somebody to give us a pass. That works, right?
well.
No,
I
not
mean,
me. Not me. I
ha-
can't get a pass, but we could get a pass for you and just have an episode where you just say it and we'll have a set number of times and you just wave your pass every time. I guarantee you we could get a black guy to give you an N-word pass to do that bit. And he would endorse and be a co-host for the whole. I guarantee there is a base black guy that would not only do that, but be enthusiastic about it. The problem is then you never get anybody else on the show again.
Yeah, probably not.
But think about it. The Whitfield report. The Whitfield report. Sam has an N-word pass edition. You know. And then you don't say it the whole time.
I would have yeah. Yeah, that would be funny. No,
I think say the Chinese are sneaky on Rumble. I'm pretty. If you said that on YouTube, we'd be. Are we on YouTube, Sam? You've done that to me before, and then I said something awful.
No, we're not on ChinaTube at all. So
well, okay, now you could probably get into like the sub stories, right? Now that we didn't bury the lead of World War fucking 3.
Well, so the other thing I would say about like Russia too is about Russia versus China. I've noticed this a lot is what is Western media, because of the Cold War, like publishing stories about Russia. That's like Western media. It's more appealing, right? Because of the Cold War. China, there's not as much like sex appeal because we've never had like a grand historical conflict with China in the same way we have with Russia. Not saying that it won't happen, but like the media just doesn't seem
because they're very
on
sneaky,
average,
right? And that complicates things. It's actually important to point out how sneaky the Chinese are, you know, because in your diplomatic relations with them, they'll say something to your face And if they don't think you're
Right.
a strong leader, they'll actually just stab you in the back. It's actually an important fucking thing to think about because that's their foreign policy strategy. See, you need to always remember, Sam, that the Chinese are very sneaky.
Yeah, no, they are. I mean,
But they
I've
respect
noticed that.
like honestly, this is an Asian thing just generally. They respect the strong man. Like now, drop it the bit. They respect the strong man, right? And that's why they'll walk all over a guy like Biden. He shows them no spine. And Trump will sit there and say, "Yeah, I got a bigger red button than you. I'll blow you the fuck up." And North Korea is all of a sudden he's the first president to go there. You see what I mean? Asians respect the strong man. It's just kind of like part of their culture and their ethnic makeup. Whatever we Westerners think of it, even if it's a strong man for freedom, like the guy in South Korea kind of is. He's kind of he's kind of like a MAGA, but he's like a South Korea first kind of guy, and very anti-China, obviously, because fuck China. But he's still a strong man, right? And that's what they respect about him. Their culture, you should be polite but strong, and China, of all of them, interprets that as also sneaky. You know what I mean? You don't get that a lot from like other cultures. They usually tell you, they're like, yeah, we're gonna send people to the killing fields, and then everybody votes for them for some reason. It's not like they have guns to their head.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else we got? We got on Russia.
No.
You almost I forgot what you were saying. I apologize, Sam. Dino Nuggy says hashtag grant Sam the N-word pass. There we go.
All I was saying is that like Russia is a lot more appealing to Western media because on like Russia
ends,
being
right?
the
like
big
the
bad
Russia files and like the people that don't like it, right?
Right. It's a lot easier to understand, and it's a lot easier for people to understand the Russia thing. When you say that China is sneaky, you're correct, but like China is a whole rabbit hole that a lot of people don't want to go down because it's complex.
It's shaped a little bit more like a hole's traditionally round, you know what I mean? And the rabbit hole of China is kind of shaped more like an almond.
Right.
That's funny. The thing about China in particular is Russia does stuff like go online and use ads to get pro-life and pro-choice people to like protesting against each other. China does things like create a multinational corporation that uses short-term videos by reverse engineering all of what Western social media is in order to gain market share by algorithmically benefiting the most dopaminic fucking content imaginable, and then use that content, to do things like make it so that if a depressed teenager goes on there, which this has been reporting, and looks up things like depression or mental illness, it feeds them down a rabbit hole. And actually trying to look for other content doesn't undo the rabbit hole, right? So they're going to be fed more and more deranged content. This is essentially designed to like drive young Americans insane.
Yeah, and especially with like the prevalence of it's like a child trauma like horror games, right? Being prevalent among kids on their little phones. Like Nights at Freddy and stuff. It gets them into like a disturbing content loophole where they'll watch videos on YouTube about it, and then YouTube will recommend them more videos about fucked up games and horror and shit.
Sure. And once again, I think that these things are
There's
organic.
a million ways it works is my point. Go ahead.
I think that there's a point to be made that, some of this is organic, but TikTok in particular, the thing about its algorithm is that it's constantly fucked with. It's in no way organic.
No.
Right. And like, they don't care because they're a hostile force. There's no point to which they're like, oh, it's having an impact on your young people, because China is not having an impact on their young people. Their version of the app encourages things like science and healthy eating and
Healthy
good
eating, yeah.
living and all of this stuff, and is limited to only 3 hours a day, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that includes video games.
Yes.
That's just screen time. Like recreational screen time is like 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
At max, and that's on a weekend. It's like 1 hour a day on a weekday if you're under. Well, if you're under 18, I think if you're over 18, it's like 5.
And I want to be
whatever. They have limits on it. Is the point.
And I want to be optimistic because I've been over here being a China hawk for ages, right? There is seemingly somewhat more of a bipartisan, like, China is a problem thing. There is kind of a facing up to the reality that China is not just that. And I talked about it, I believe, a year ago on your show, Sam, or it feels like a year ago, where, like, they're at war, like George Soros is declaring war on China, right? People are realizing China has been scamming them. And I predicted that like 4 years ago. It's obvious that these billionaires that think they're going to do business with China and end up on top were doomed from the start.
How about a great example to, like, in a trivial sphere of exactly that is the Blizzard swindle. Have you heard about this, Shmooly?
Tell us about it.
Okay. So, Blizzard makes fucking Warcraft and all that shit, right? They got pulled out of China. Their contract with you have to have a Chinese publisher, right? And you have to, like, give them access to your IP. That's how you do business in China if you're a video game company. They ended their contract abruptly with Blizzard because they had a disagreement about something. And then magically in the last 12 months, they've created a game that's basically Chinese World of Warcraft, right? And then they made Blizzard beg on their knees for a little bit of their market share back, and get like half the money that they were getting from the old deal. That's China in action right there. So they stole their IP. They reverse engineered their game to make the Chinese version of it that's like just barely legally distinct from it, right? And then they said, you can come back now. But you come back on your knees this time because we're China and you want our market share, don't you? And that's how China bullies even just like companies into doing whatever it wants. And they bully their own company. Tencent is a video game company, right? They bullied Tencent by putting even stricter restrictions on video games that would have put Tencent out of business. And Tencent had to come before President, the president, and be like, Xi Jinping, and be like, please, Mr. Xi Jinping, don't ban our fucking company. We're worth $50 billion or whatever. And Xi Jinping was like, okay, what are you going to do for me, bitch? Bend over. And what do you think they do? They make content for kids. Well, you say that's organic, but it's not organic. They put the TikTok videos of these horror games to get the kids interested because they're short form content, a little jump scare that causes child trauma. Children are inherently attracted to trauma. I did a video about this with the psychological studies, if anybody wants fucking sources cited. But the psychological trauma caused by some of these video game shit sticks in their head. That's why it's not organic. And the people making them is Tencent, right? They make games, horror games for kids, because it's one of the things, like body stuff is interesting to children, right? And that's why the horror scares them. They're scared of they're grappling with things like death and pain and stuff. They don't know what it is, and so they find content that feeds up. That's why ElsaGate worked so well. They were doing stuff like pregnancy and losing a tooth and getting a shot from a doctor, right? These are things that kids find interesting, and that's important. Whether we understand, it's important, especially as a parent, to understand that they're trying to get your kids on the most base instincts and impulses that they have. It's like porn for children, and it affects their brain in much the same way as porn addiction affects adults, which is not good. Sorry, a little rant there.
Is that why like Slender Man is a big thing with like kids?
It lights up the same part of the brain as pornography does in an adult. Horror, Slender Man, Five Nights at Freddy's, and then they graduate, and then there's YouTube. There's a whole YouTube culture built around that, and that might be organic, right? But like the games being made, they're made for young kids to shock them in ways and catch their attention. Now you can say that there's an insidious message behind that or not. Oh, it's just entertainment to scare little kids. Okay, but that's the effect it's creating in a lot of these kids is an unhealthy obsession with content that they otherwise wouldn't be exposed to in previous generations as young as they are, because the internet is so easy and prevalent, and parents don't give a fuck. They put a tablet in front of their kid. They put no restrictions on it. They don't even care what their kid's watching. They never look at it, etc. And I'm sorry to rant again, Sam. I know. But it's all related to China. Like that's one of the biggest ways they're pushing mental illness on children is through TikTok and through this. Well, because it's not just scary games, right? What it is they use a specific word that gets kids into that sector. It's disturbing. They try and get kids into the sector of disturbing content and whatever that means, and that can be up from like creepypasta stuff all the way down to like there's this one guy called Plague Moth who like reviews gore videos. He's a disgusting person, but he also like will sue you if you talk about him. So I'm not even getting in, but he's the bottom of the barrel of YouTube. He literally reviews gore videos. All of this is under the banner of fucking disturbing content, and it is marketed to kids as young as I would say 6 or 7, but especially preteens.
Wait, Max. So let me get this straight. So a guy who reviews literal gore videos
in some cases
is allowed on YouTube.
In some cases, it's the murder of children, but he blurs it out and then he laughs, dude. Because he's a 20-something edgy death metal guy, bro.
Hold up, though. Let me.
No, you don't even want to go down the Plague Moth fucking rabbit hole.
I don't want to go down it. I'm just asking. So this guy is allowed on YouTube, right? But me eulogizing my grandfather, an Air Force veteran and an author who wrote, several like successful books in the business world. Me eulogizing him got me banned.
Correct, Sam. Yeah, watching children get murdered and laughing. Fuck. He has a million subscribers or whatever. And he's got like a little cult. That's why if you talk about him, like they show up and they'll like flag your shit. I guess we're okay on Rumble, but he's like a weirdo too. Of course, he reviews gore videos. He's a real weirdo. What a shock, right? He's an edgelord, but like that's what I mean. They get the kids into this content cycle to feed them worse and worse, more disturbing stuff, and they end up with all this like mental baggage. And then what does TikTok prescribe them? Well, maybe cut your dick off and go kill yourself. I'm sorry. Maybe you need to get transgender transitioning. That's what I meant to say.
Right. Well, I remember I went
also TikTok promotes cutting. Now, maybe the TikTok company doesn't directly promote cutting, but they have videos of girls cutting themselves and they share them with each other. How's that not promoting cutting? Yeah, and so they get into disturbing content, and the next thing you know, they get their arm up with their cutting. They're like, cutting sisters. Oh, unity among the cutters. Like it's a good thing. Oh, this is just how I relieve stress, guys. Like this is a normal. They call it like a self-stimming. They compare it to like when autistics like will have twerks and kinks and shit that's self-stimulating, or like the rock. It's not the same to cut yourself. That's not self-stimming. That's self-harm. It's different. But they even make self-harm is not a big deal anymore. Oh, it's just part of mental illness. Yeah. All these things are reducing the barrier for impressionable kids in a confusing and crazy fucking world full of all kinds of things they should never be exposed to, right? Down the path of mental illness and all kinds of bad decisions before they're even old enough to understand what the fucking repercussions even mean.
So, I mean, I propose that we just make it, we just basically nuke China.
Yes.
In general, but at least nuke them off the internet. At least ban all of their software, all of their companies, and all of their websites.
Yeah.
Because there's just literally no reason why we would allow them to have access to the internet when we don't have access to their internet. And so there's no kind of symmetry. There is no kind of tit for tat that we could play. There's nothing. And I don't even want to go tit for tat because I don't want to convince their kids to kill themselves or to be mentally ill. This is insane.
All right.
There's no reason.
Not little tit nor little tat.
Yeah, there's no real reason. There's no real benefit.
That'll be their real names.
To having them do so. I mean, perhaps you could make the claim that Chinese state media proper should be allowed to register and publish their stuff because that could be in the public interest to know the Chinese propaganda, but certainly not run tech sites in which our people are using and having their data stolen and being propagandized, being weaponized, because this is the PLA way of war. You can find the PDF. It's called Unrestricted Warfare. Now that has some Western connotation, but what that basically means is that after the first Gulf War, China said, "Wait a minute, we use those same tanks, those same fighter jets, those same tactics as Saddam. So we cannot take on America directly in a kinetic war. So we have to become very skilled at
sneaky
at every single other type of war. We have to think of war in the non-kinetic terms and wage it sneakily."
Like the snake, you know. Speaking of which, by the way, Sam, breaking news. Silly Kelly 420 says that they're black and they can provide you with an N-word pass. Yeah, we did it, audience.
Well, Silly Kelly 420 is half white too, though, right? Like,
yeah, they can still say it and they can still grant the pass. Okay. So so you're black shaming him now? Or her, Silly Kelly, whatever. Are you judging?
No,
are you pigment shading? You're deciding who's black enough to grant you the pass? I see.
No,
see, chat. I guess I was wrong. I didn't think Sam was a racist.
No, I'm just doing what you and Shmuley do, where you don't allow Silly Kelly to commit to fully being black or white.
I've never done that in my life.
No, they can. I mean, if they can grant an N-word pass, then that's.
I've never done any such thing, Sam.
Silly Kelly's a black chick, as far as I can tell. It's in the name, right? 420.
Yeah,
Kelly. There's Silly. She's been a long-time supporter of the show. Sam, you know that.
Yeah. They certainly have been.
It was just a one-night stand with one of your fans, Sam. You said you would keep everything a secret, says Silly Kelly. Why you got to do that, Sam?
I cannot.
Are you part Chinese too, Sam? Because you're being very sneaky right now.
No, I am.
I think. Hold on. You know the 3 I negotiated? I think that's 1.
I'm not.
My wife doesn't seem interested, so I probably won't get beat as much though. So that's good.
Do I look Chinese?
A little bit.
No, no, I'm not Chinese. I have done Chinese acupuncture before.
That's how it starts, right? First, you get the acupuncture.
Yeah, and so
next thing you know, you're watching Dragon Ball.
Okay, well that's that's Japanese.
Can we have a moment of
know.
silence for Sam's career now that he's been outed?
Outed as a Chinese misinformation agent.
I mean, if anything, I'm a Russian disinfo agent.
That's
Right?
exactly what a
That's
Chinese disinfo agent would say.
Or maybe I'm a. Well, no,
okay.
I'm not gonna go.
Does chat?
I'm not gonna.
When he asked, does he look Chinese? Let's ask the chat. Chat, does Sam look like he might be a little, just a little Chinese? Is it anybody else, or is it just me? Because if chat disagrees with me, I'm gonna go with chat. Chat always is right.
I think it's just you.
Okay.
I think it's just you too.
If Sam was any sort of person of color, he would obviously be Filipino.
Well, isn't that kind of just Chinese, but like with Islander?
If you told them that, they would be very upset, I feel.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
I think if you're Asian watching by now and you're not upset, you'd probably be all right with that one,
No, but in all
my wife gave me a dirty look, so I think that's two, Sam.
Yeah.
It was long and angry dirty look too.
Even I'm getting uncomfortable with what you're saying, Max.
Yeah. Good.
I do I do know some. Speaking of Chinese acupuncturists, though, like my Chinese acupuncturist will not allow his kids to watch TikTok at all.
Right. That's smart,
because
but you believe in acupuncture?
He's a big supporter of it.
Yes.
You didn't know that?
Yes. Have I not shared this with you before?
So this is interesting because now that I know that, I have some property. It's beachfront. It's in Arizona. Really cheap, dude. You should totally buy it.
Yeah. No. I've heard that skepticism before, but
So putting
putting
pins in your body to realign your chakras and your chi. That works, Sam.
Resisted says you should get a Fu Manchu, Sam.
It's more complex that it's more complex than that. I could explain it to you.
Sam stabs himself for fun, okay? How about you mind your own business?
Look, man, I'm all for doing weird stuff, but do you at least do it authentically and you don't believe in germ theory? Don't wash the needles. I mean, that's really authentic acupuncture.
Did they stab you in the butt?
I mean,
Sam?
I'm not. I mean, it. Okay.
No,
first off,
honest question. Did they stab you in the butt?
No.
Okay.
Not for cerebral palsy. But I guess if you're a smoker, they do.
All right. Where do they generally stab you? Where do you take the needles?
In my back. It's helped with my
They leave
back
them in?
problems and my hip.
How long they leave them in for?
About 20 minutes or so.
All right. Do they just put one in a hole or do they put multiple?
They do multiple. So
how much does it hurt?
Not much at this point.
At first, though, a little bit.
So yeah. So let me ask you this: Are you skeptical of chiropractors?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fair. I can if you're skeptical of chiropractors, I can understand why
I'm
you'd be
skeptical
skeptical
of
of
fucking everything. Ask my wife.
Well, the fact that
Whatever,
it's not a medical degree, and the fact that like it's just nonsense, placebo. I mean, that's not to say placebo doesn't work to some degree, right? But it's just not
Yeah, well,
something that is actually real. And
Also, Dino Nuggy says El Shmuley take. Go ahead.
it's based on pre-science nonsense. I mean, it's just like witch doctor stuff, which once again, it's like placebo has been shown to be real. But I think that there's potentially better ways to fool yourself through ritual than having needles stabbed in you and risking damage to your body by having some.
I'm gonna take Sam's side here, because pain is just weakness leaving the body, and you sound like a massive pussy right now.
Okay.
Well, I've speaking of pain leaving the body, I've done like deep tissue massage, which doesn't feel like a massage at all. It feels like when you get someone like literally like,
did you get a happy ending?
The fascia.
Babe.
I
3.
That's 3. Okay, fair enough. I have to behave.
See, you accuse me of being the horny one. I'm not the one who brought up a happy ending. I brought up a deep tissue massage as a way to like realign the fascia in my muscles.
Like Sam ritually fucking commits pain upon his personage to gain. What do you gain? What do you feel better specifically? Like, how does it help? Since you're a proponent of it, it's only fair to ask, right? Since he's being skeptical and all, I'm being open-minded.
I mean, it's helped with my range of motion. It's like
it's stabbed into like the nerve basically, and you feel more like. I could see how that might actually help. Sometimes if I hurt,
I mean,
my instinct is to hit the pain with a hammer. I don't do that. But I feel like sometimes, especially if there's pain in my ankle, I feel like that might actually help. And then I'm like, well, no, it wouldn't, but it would make, it would make it worse. So I can relate.
I mean, there are things.
Or I gotta
like
pinch nerve on the bottom of my foot sometimes, essentially, right? And the dumbest, you told me, oh, don't walk on it, Max, right? And you know what I did the next day? I walked 5 miles on it, and it felt better. I've been walking a lot since then. We went for a lovely springtime walk today. We saw falcons, Sam, me and the wife. It's a great. Beautiful. Cool. Not a cloud in the sky, perfect temperature.
Yeah, no, I mean, we could do a whole stream on my medical history at some point, and I'm sure that would be really riveting.
Yeah, I'm just asking about the acupuncture because you have been defended it. I might as well hear you out, right? So it helps with your range of motion.
Yeah, I mean,
does it help with your like pain at all, or does it? Or do you have pain?
Yeah, I mean, it actually has helped with my pain a little bit. Oddly enough, like, here's the thing: like, I'm skeptical of traditional American medicine because, like, with cerebral palsy. Specifically, like the one thing that doctors always prescribe is like oh, we need to do X amount. We need to do this surgery, which involves like, doing like this really invasive, like, cutting
Twisting
and
your
like,
nerves around in such a way that it's supposed to make it feel better, kind of shit.
yeah, or like, or just like they're already saying I'm probably gonna need like a hip replacement when I'm 40 or something.
Well, the thing is
Which I
that
might, but like,
cutters want to cut. You're not wrong, right? So if you talk to specialists, eventually along
yeah,
the way, somebody wants to cut. And you're the
yeah,
perfect kind
yeah,
of
and
candidate for it, right? Because they can get you passed through for whatever kind of crazy cutting they want to do.
yeah, and in a lot
If
of
you were
in a lot
into
of
that
this
and you're
in a lot
not,
of
you'd rather get poked with some needles. I can relate. Makes sense to me, Sam.
yeah, it's a lot less invasive, than
Yeah, it's less
that.
invasive to
And
get
plus,
needles shoved into your fucking joints and shit, than it is to fucking have them start cutting. He's right, and I think it's a Shmuley L on this one.
No, I think that I win.
eh,
I think that it's pseudoscience, and I mean,
no,
if it helps
it's
you and you want to do it, then do it.
it,
But it's not real medicine. It's not
it
real.
Is cutting if it doesn't
it's
work though?
it's a lot. It's a lot less invasive to have like a needle on you for like 20 minutes as opposed to having like your hip replaced and then setting up which sets off like a metal detector or something.
Well, like I don't
something.
understand this choice. Like you could just do neither, right?
I mean, but then I'd be like even more.
Does your insurance cover acupuncture? That's the real question.
My when I was on my mom's, it did. So, why not?
How much does it cost, like without insurance?
It really depends on like it. It really depends on where you go. Like probably like $50. Probably like $50 a session to start, which
That's
is
not
not
that unreasonable, I guess.
that's not unreasonable. I mean it's a lot better than say people who are into like crystals and
How?
No, I get it.
that
Like
type
like
of.
the pain element is kind of metal, You're just getting stabbed in
Yeah.
order to feel better. That's pretty dope. Yeah. That's, Sam's heart is nails over here.
I mean, there's a lot with acupuncture that like I could go into a whole like explanation of it, but
Anyway, thank you for having me on, Sam. It's been a
Oh.
great time. I have to head out.
oh, okay. Thank you for coming on then.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Appreciate it. You too. Shmuley, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, did his fan base. I don't even know if it's a fan base.
Oh, it's a fan base. They just don't know it.
It's a fan base. They love to hate him.
They love to love him. How can you not? Right? He came in with prep. You didn't even have real prep. He had an article, on the FAA.
Yeah.
It was about affirmative action. It was gonna be great. Maybe next time.
Oh, yeah. I was
what you
confusing
didn't
that
do,
with
Sam?
the Unite.
You did the one thing off the top of the show, but you missed out on a second thing that you should have done already, which is pimp.
I did.
Oh,
And we were talking about China too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Morpheus,
by the way,
have review because I've finished the book. But I we're trying to sell them, so I don't want to get into spoilers if that's okay on the show. I think that would be
well,
I
without
I
spoilers,
could give
though.
you a review without spoilers because I'm good like that. Because if stuff gets spoiled for me, I hate when stuff gets spoiled for me.
I'm the same way.
I would say it's a slick follow-up after the first one. Like the first one, Sam, I had my questions about where you were going with some of the plot hooks, particularly around John. But you tied the character into the larger conspiracy very nicely. That's I guess not really a spoiler. It's about conspiracies, guys. It's about the deep state. The fourth estate. He's been pretty clear about that. So that's not really a spoiler. But the way you tied it in, I didn't really see it in the first novel. It was more of like I guess you could say it's almost like a monster of the week style thing, right? Where he kind of deals with the most of the problem within the novel with only a few things left hanging. And so I didn't really see where you were going to go into the next one. And man, it just goes hard right from the beginning. Right through to the end with a pretty big revelation at the end. Well worth the read. A great follow-up, a great second drop from any author, and you should be very proud of yourself. There's my review.
I appreciate it, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone who has purchased the Fourth Estate so far. I will say that I will say that I think this one is a lot more polished.
Yes, that's what I meant by slick. It's definitely you knew where you were going and you went and you didn't waste a lot of time, and it's good in the format, right? Being a kind of novella. It really does. It's like it reminds me of like when I used to go to the used bookstore, Sam. I used to buy they'd have a bin and it was like 10 for $1, literally dime store, right? And I'd pick up a whole bunch, and there'd be a couple good ones that you felt satisfied at the end, but you were hoping for more. That's what your series reminds me of, because then I get to the second part and I'm like, oh yeah, I see where it's going, and I can't wait for the third part. And that's why we have to prevent a hobbling, ladies and gentlemen, and get Sam on that. And the best way to do that is to pick up your copy, paperback or ebook, or if you have what is it, Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free with that plan.
Audible too.
Audible,
the audiobook
there.
So yeah, purchase the Fourth Estate. It is interesting that we bring up that we talk about China so much this show, because I am actually at some point going to tie.
Billy Kelly says it's China educational or fantasy. It's actually a political thriller with a spy. I would say it's political, sort of, but it's political in the way like 24 is political, right? That's more what it's more like something like, you can tell he's heavily influenced by 24, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just say that that it goes fast. I guess if maybe somebody had a criticism, that might be it. It might go too fast for them, but there's more to come. So I think that's okay. And man, and by the way, I just, again, to compliment the printing, like the choice you said of the larger font made it a great, like, quick read. Easy on the old people.
Yeah, no, because I mean, I have I hate small fonts in paperback. There are some paperbacks I have that I had to buy the Kindle version of because I can't read them. So I wanted to do a printing of a book that I could actually read. I also and I know it increased the cost of the book a little bit, but I do have to say I do like the white paper on this instead of the
audience.
I understand.
The audience picked up before even I did that it makes a great sound.
It does. I understand that, like,
Has a good feel.
I understand that some people like the. I understand that some people like the off-white, paper that's a bit cheaper, and it gives it a little more pulpy, feeling, which I suppose that,
In fact, I'm going to get one of my points back. I'm going to say, now that I've finished it and reviewed it on the show, I'm going to hand my copy off to my wife and she can do a review. So now she gets.
You should. Well, and then, on the off chance
now I get to make one more awful joke.
I mean,
see, that's how it works.
Well, the one thing we should do is, like, we know that Trump is going to win in 2024, right?
Right.
He's going to win in November, and then we'll have to meet in DC, and I'll autograph it for you. Hopefully I'll have the big, like, compendium done.
Sam's gonna be so cold in DC in January. It's gonna be great.
I know. I am.
Schmooly too. Oh, that'll be awesome. Y'all be so cold, and I'll be like, "This is like nice. This is a heat wave. What are you talking about, Florida?"
Yeah. So
it's not like nobody will notice that I'm a masshole. It's pretty obvious. I mean, I might not have like a Peter Griffin voice, but yeah, it's pretty obvious. Big ornery fucking metal guy.
It's all in your it's all in your attitude, not in your accent.
That's it.
So
WarHammer, Sam. You flubbed, you flubbed it. I said to WarHammer, and you're like, you said, "Oh, I looked it up, but I didn't see it." Are you crazy? So okay, how much?
Yes.
How deep into WarHammer lore should I go for this to make my point?
Okay,
I should keep it under 5 minutes, huh?
No, you can go a little more. I know what WarHammer is. I've played it. Like, I haven't played it a lot, but I've played enough to kind of get the general gist.
Right. Okay.
But what has the community?
They're putting women in my Spaceman game, Sam. It's all over.
Really?
It's the end of the world. They're putting women in my plastic Spaceman.
So wait, did Az join the program? Or are we gonna get fucking pronouns?
That's the expected reaction from them, right? But what's really going on, it's been a battle for a long time between the ESG types, and BlackRock actually is an investor in Games Workshop. And they've been trying to foist upon it some of the ESG values, right? And the biggest win for the feminist types and the trainees seems to be female Space Marines. That's their line in the sand, because Space Marines are the most known, visible part of the WarHammer 40K universe, right? So if they get that, they get everything. But there's lore reasons, Sam, why there can't be female Space Marines, right? Do you want an explanation? Do you want a long or a short one?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a science fiction nerd, so you can give me the long.
Okay. So Space Marines are not only genetically, but physically modified, and they go through like the worst training ever. Okay. 99.9% of all candidates die in like the first week. Women don't survive. Next question. Also, some of the organs, if you implant these organs into women and they do special things, like one of the things that's cool about Space Marines is they have a melanin gland that can produce it or take it away depending on the climate they're operating in. So like they don't really have a race per se. And some of them are like ethnically influenced, but they don't actually have a real race. So Black Space Marine isn't offensive. So the only thing that could be offensive, Sam, that could really go against the lore, you see, would be a woman space marine because it's impossible, but it's what it's what they want because they want to be little pretty plastic space marines and put them in pink and trans colors, right? To rub it in our faces, Chud, that this is ours now.
So wait. So the non-racial like space marine thing. So that's always
they
been
also
around,
are
right?
infertile. They cannot reproduce. We don't even know if they have a dick or not. There's debate about that.
But to be clear, like that's always been established lore, though. That's not like new. That's nothing new.
Since Rogue Trader, the very first printing of the very first edition, that's lore. And also, there's another group. So, okay, what is a space marine then is important. So I have to. This is the problem: is you have the Warhammer lore is fun because it connects to things, and also a very important thing to know is more of the philosophy of Warhammer. Okay, if you're not really familiar with it, it's not Star Wars where hope wins and goodness provides. It's not
right.
It's the darkest universe you could possibly imagine, and then some. Okay, so humans are gonna die because there are chaos demons out in the warp that are fucked up and evil and will wipe you out. There are bugs that eat entire planets. There are orcs that essentially fight entire planets and endlessly respawn forever until you blow the planet up. And all they care about is a fight, so all they're going to do is kill you. And they grow back on their own. You have just all these horrific things. Elves with magic fucking psyker abilities. And everything is shit. And the Emperor is dead. He's sitting on a throne dead. Now, he's also supposed to be God, so God is dead. Hope is dead. Everything is fucking dead. The Empire is all you got left for humanity to survive. Okay, do we understand now?
So it's like, it's really fucking bleak then, basically.
It's the bleakest, right? They wipe out whole planets. They have an order called Exterminatus where they just blow up a whole planet full of trillions of people. Because there's orcs there. Because if you don't, the orcs will kill all those people anyway. But that's what it is. It's so dark and bleak that it frees them up to do ridiculous things. Like they have a quasar gun that you shoot into a star and it blows up a solar system full of people. And bugs, presumably. Or demons.
So then why do the woke people even want to get involved in this universe?
Because it's Chuds own it, man. It's because they took over everything. They already got Dungeons and Dragons years ago. It's woke as fuck. Warhammer was resistant to it. There was an actual resistance to the idea because it goes not only because they're putting the women in my plastic space marine game. That hurts. I'm a fucking misogynist. But because the lore is really fucking specific, and a lot of the people who get into the lore of Warhammer, it's because they're kind of autistic. If you know what I mean. It's so deep that you can keep digging. There's so many fucking novels.
Right.
It's and it has ridiculous things, like I said, like blowing up entire solar systems at the blink of an eye. It has a faction. There's a faction that was birthed by a race of elves so debauched, Sam. They went so far, and they started with like almost like our society, where they started with like drag queen, story time, kitty predator stuff. Next thing you know, their whole society can't get off unless they like murder fuck. So their murder fucking got so out of control that the just sheer negative energy of murder fucking birthed a goddess of murder fucking who devoured 2/3 of their entire race. And there's ones that are against her. They're like, yay, we're going to be elves and we're going to, be not evil anymore. And then there's ones that join, and they'll do things like they'll take your flesh from your body with your nerves attached so you can still feel pain, right? And they'll preserve you and keep you alive and make you into a chair so they can sit on that chair and laugh about the pain that you're in. They'll keep your mouth and your vocal cords so you can still scream. For all eternity, you are a living chair for them to sit on and make pain for and burn with fucking cigarettes and shit and laugh at you. That's the kind of universe we're talking about, Sam.
So basically, So basically, one that the Clintons own.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I disavow.
Weekend at Hillary's. Am I right?
And so, in the face of such cosmic horrors, Sam, liberty is dead. Okay, and in what the Emperor said goes, and he's dead. And we haven't heard from him even psychically in like 10,000 years, and everything's fallen apart, from our fucking technology to our food supplies. Everything's falling apart. The universe is falling apart, right? And they're worried about goddamn female space marines, motherfucker, which is impossible because they could remember what I said, 99.9% of candidates don't survive space marine training and the implants and the genetic modifications required to make you a 10-foot tall demigod that lives forever with 3 hearts and no dick, allegedly. Some people dispute and say that they do have a dick. There's a big debate about space marine dick. Sam, did you know that? If they have them,
I did not, but
they're like 10 feet tall, but they wear their power armor pretty much all the time. I don't think they can take their power armor off, actually. Regardless, there's debate because this is another thing that you need to know about 40K lore, Sam. None of it is completely true because we're just hearing things from like, this guy recorded this event, this guy recorded this event, and sometimes the narration is untrue, and it's always through the eyes of the Empire. So they can retcon shit. Why is that, Sam? Most lore doesn't do that, do they? They don't let you make up your own lore. But Warhammer kind of does. And the reason is because it's a tabletop war game, right? And so you feel like your battle is kind of part of canon. They have campaigns over the years, and it affects the story that they tell in the books to some degree. So the point of the lore being open to change is simply because, well, when I played the battle on Cadia, actually my team beat the other team at this location, right? But unfortunately, we lost the entire war because the planet exploded. Okay, so you're kind of part of the lore with your battle in the game. It's kind of the hook, okay? It makes you part of the grander narrative, right?
Gotcha.
Now they're using that to justify female, not space marines. So what is the space marines? They're these genetically modified super soldiers. There's one in charge of each of the 20 branches of it. So there's 20 legions of space marines, and each one has a Primarch, who's the head dude, who's way even more cooler than all them, okay? You still following me, Sam? Because this gets really fucking confusing, I think, to some degree. They're the sons of the Emperor. He made them to be even better than anything ever. They're like genetically modified demigods, essentially. The Emperor also had a legion of his own. They're called the Custodes, right? And the Custodes are the Emperor's Imperial Guard. They're better than regular Space Marines because they're the Emperor's personal, and they were made before all the Space Marines. They are the ultimate. They wear gold. They're considered if he's God, they're his angels, right? To some degree. And his sons are his sons. Right. They're like demigods. But the angels that surround him is essentially the Custodes, because it's all supposed to be metaphorical to some degree, right? They're saying, well, they're not Space Marines, and it doesn't say they can't be female, so they've always been female. That's where the problem is, Sam. Now, if you followed everything I've said up till now, you can understand they didn't say, hey, this changed. They didn't say, hey, Belis, and just to flex my understanding of the Warhammer lore, Belisarius Cawl could have done this. Okay, Fabius Bile could have done this. These are science guys that have done miraculous things before, like create Primaris Marines, which is better than Space Marines. Do you know why that doesn't make sense, Sam? Because the Emperor is perfect. And so somebody making something better than the Emperor is heresy. The very notion you would even suggest to do that is heresy, right? But they did it because they wanted to sell new plastic crap. And I guess that's okay. And everybody fucking rolled their eyes. But now they're not even going to provide a lore reason. They're just saying, no, you guys are wrong. We're just retconning it in a tweet. That, yeah, since the founding of the 10,000, there's been women. What we wrote in the first edition through like the 8th edition, when we were very specific about that it was the sons of the nobles of Terra, like the lords and ladies of the land. It's their sons that get picked to be custodies. That's why they're like higher than all the other fucking space marines. They're the emperor's personal guard. And now they're like, yeah, no, they've always been women too. Without a second, there's no novel coming out about this. It's not a plot line that's been weaved through years of game storytelling. They did a tweet and they expected everybody to just grin and bear it. And then all the usual people, Sam, the trannies and the feminists and the wokeists are putting pictures up on Twitter of them planting the tranny flag in fucking Warhammer, saying we've won, because they did. Because they caved in and gave them their thing. And I just say, if you really have a problem with it, like I do, for lore reasons, not because you're a sexist who hates women in their plastic spaceman game, the Sisters of Battle exist, Sam. Do you know what the Sisters of Battle are? You would probably play them. It might be your faction, actually. What do they sound like? Something women, right?
Yeah.
They're basically female space marines, except they're nuns, right? And their power, instead of being like genetically engineered super soldiers with big fucking guns and muscles, is that they're nuns, and through the power of their faith and also big guns and fucking power armor, sexy power armor, might I add, which the women tend to play as the sisters because of that very reason. If you find a woman playing Warhammer, odds are she's going to play either the orcs because she's a weirdo, or she's going to play the sisters because they're hot. Newsflash, gentlemen, when women make themselves in games, and maybe the gaming industry, they do tend to make themselves sexy. And that's why they like the sisters. But anyway, the sisters are nuns with guns, Sam, who can evoke the holy light of the fucking emperor to smite their foes. But the Sisters of Battle don't get updated codexes, Sam. You know what does? Oh, we're putting the women in the Astartes now. You know what I mean? The Sisters of Battle exist and they're fucking cool. The Sisters of Silence are part of the Custodies. They're like the nuns of the angels. So there's another legion, and they're all about nullifying psychic power. That's why they're so valuable. Oh, but we can't use our interesting female characters. By the way, Sam, do you know what they have an equal representation of women in the Empire? The Imperial Guard, which is basically the army, which is made up of trillions of human beings, right? And it's about half women. It's not uncommon in the Warhammer universe to see a woman in position of prominence within the Imperial Guard or the Imperial Navy, right? Because they don't discriminate against recruits. And oftentimes, women are the pilots in Warhammer because they have an innate psychic ability, which is why the types of troops that are specialized women groups, there's also Eldar that are specialized women. There's a whole list of factions that have like specialized women-only troops. Why does it have to be Space Marine, Sam? Because that's the poster. That's the front page of Warhammer. That's the first thing you see. And they have to take it for themselves, and they have to paint it with a trans flag, and then they have to say, ha, chuds, go home. We have your thing now, and you can't have it back. And that's exactly what they're saying. And I just say don't buy their shit anymore. You can plastic print their shit. Who cares? Play a different game. Somebody make a different rule set. I love the lore, as you might be able to tell by my little tirade there, that I understand it pretty well, and I think it's fucking awesome. In the grim darkness, Sam, of the far future, there is only war, right? That's the whole premise. It's awful. It's terrible. And we can't even have the most edgelord thing that's ever existed, which is Warhammer 40K, without them pussifying it up to meet some political agenda so they can get ESG bucks from fucking BlackRock. I guess that's my rant for today, Sam.
Yeah, no. I'm dead serious when I say that was fascinating. I'm hung up on the fact, like, I didn't know that much about like Warhammer at all. So thank you for the I guess primer.
And I actually more little quick addendum here. There's a famous guy, and you might want to check it out. Like if you're just looking for something to listen to that would explain this in great detail because it's fun. There's a YouTuber that goes by Luton, right? And Luton is like the lore master on YouTube. And he put out a video, and I've watched it to see what his opinion was, to see maybe I'm tripping, right? I wanted to be reasonable about this. Maybe they could be female custodies, right? And if anybody would know, it's the fucking lore guy, right? Because he always approaches it. He says the more sources for something, the better, right? You have to approach it like that because the
Right.
WarHammer lore is kind of like real history. Some of it's lies, some of it's wrong, some of it's made up, some of it's forgotten, right? And so with the WarHammer lore, you kind of have to piece it together like a historian sometimes. And he said, this is ridiculous. Like, he's going to work with it because it's the lore now, and he's the lore guy. But on a personal level, he thinks it's the dumbest retcon they've ever done. And all it's doing is pissing off the people that do buy the cheap plastic spacemen, Sam. Yeah, they're putting lemons in my plastic spaceman game. That's true, okay? But there's also spitting in the eye of the actual customer base that buys the cheap plastic spacemen. And they expect to continue to sell. And I say, you shouldn't take that, gentlemen. You're better than that, and you can make your own cheap plastic spacemen. Fuck them. They're spitting in your face and calling you chuds while they do it. They said Warhammer's for everybody but you. Everybody but you, bigot. Because you care about the story that you've been following for 30 fucking years. That has literally hundreds of novels, and you've read lots of them. I won't say I've read every Warhammer novel, Sam, but I've read dozens. Certainly.
That you know what, Max? That brings up a terrific opportunity for me to explain why I wrote the Shadows of Deception saga when I did. Because they basically did the same thing with the James Bond, not only the movies but the books too. They decided that James Bond is no longer going to be a super masculine,
straight white male, patriarchal, oppressing colonizer, Sam.
No longer, and instead he's going to be an introspective, sissy who has psychological problems and feels bad about, the fact that he's a secret agent. Basically, they turn him into a guy with PTSD, who has like anxiety attacks in the books now. And so I was tweeting about that and how much it sucks. And someone was like, well, what are you going to do about it? And so that was when I'm like, you know what? I wrote a short story in college. I think I'm actually going to draft that and write it. So, over the course of like 6 months
with Warhammer too, because I think to myself, and then I think I can't write stuff as good as like Dan Abnett, and so it's such a shame that they ruin these things. But you're right, Sam. You did the exact right thing. You've created something of your own, and it's awesome. And it's been humbling to watch people enjoy it, and then to enjoy it myself. Good shit. Sorry. Go ahead.
Which I appreciate. I mean, it does suck with like Warhammer, and I feel the same way about Star Wars too. Like,
oh yeah, there's another one.
I guess. I mean, I will.
They're taking a huge dump on Dragonlance. Do you know? Like, to most people, that's not a big deal, but to me, like, it's up there with the Lord of the Rings for me, with like series that I read at that period. Actually, I graduated from Lord of the Rings. The next thing I started into was Dragonlance. And you might not know it, but it's a series of stories written by a couple. I believe they were a couple. and they're kind of, I believe they're Mormon too, because it's very Mormonly influenced, but I didn't know that as a kid. And it brought dragons back to Dungeons and Dragons, which made it instantly cool. There was a mythology behind the way the dragons worked and the Dragon King and shit. And it went through all these novels, and then they translated to the D&D game, so you could actually play through some of the events of the novels within the game. That's what got me into D&D, Sam. And you know what they're doing? They're ruining all the elements that made it cool to me. They got rid of the original writers, and they're on it's not just me saying that. The original writers are on Twitter. I follow them. They're talking shit about it. Like, well, not talking shit, but it's like, this isn't ours. We have nothing to do with it. They're distancing themselves from it because it ruins the spirit of Dragonlance, much like the Lord of the Rings is like the power of friendship, overcoming all odds and hope and stuff. And they had to modernize it, Sam. So you know what they did? They made it morally gray. And maybe the bad guys are actually the good guys, you know? God himself,
Right.
sides with these people and leads them to the right dragons who, like, I don't want to, if anybody wants to go back and read the original Dragonlance novels, they're awesome. Okay. It's a great fantasy setting and the story is great, but it's based on like childhood hope and adventure and overcoming the odds. And it's very like traditional Western fantasy, right? And they're bringing it back. Of course, they have to add in that modern, everything's morally relative. Every single thing. You can't have any pure good anything. They want to get rid of alignment systems entirely. And they pussify the shit out of it. And they wonder why I don't want to fuck with it, you know? It used to at least be metal as fuck. You know, you describe how the dumb character's head gets cut off, you know, and have a laugh about it. And maybe he tries to hit on the waitress at the fucking tavern, right? And then you go kill a dragon. It didn't have to be. It doesn't have to be so serious, bros. We try to escape the real life bullshit with this dumb fucking plastic fantasy garbage, you know? And video games too. And novels.
Yeah.
That's what I like about yours, Sam. You have not political commentary because it's not like direct one-to-one. But like philosophically, you're talking about current events without being like obvious about it. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing I want to do is I feel like, because the one thing that like, I do think that you can have like intelligent conversations about conspiracy theories and secret government groups without sounding like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like the average person still thinks Alex Jones sounds like an absolute lunatic. Granted, partially that's because of how the media has portrayed him, but like
it's also partially because he acts like one sometimes. But
yeah,
it helps him
so
make
like,
money, so I can't really hate the hustle, you know? He's the king of right-wing grifters, Sam. He is the original, and he's done it better than anybody ever. Like Rush wasn't a grifter. Yeah, like he was the grift. He invented modern right-wing grifting. If you think about Alex Jones, he was selling water filters and supplements when all these motherfuckers didn't even have the internet. Half of them weren't even born. You got to give credit to the king, and part of the grift is going crazy sometimes. You know.
I am giving credit for that. I do think though that like shadow groups and whatnot, like, you know, is the government run by like a shadow group of powerful individuals? That is a very interesting question to ask potentially. And Max is still here. He just singled out and turned his.
I just need a moment. I have a visitor.
Okay. Yeah, I do think that you can have like intelligent conversations somewhat on like whether or not the government is run by like a shadowy organization. without like coming off as a schizo.
That sounds like
Per
what a
se, and
schizo would
that's
say.
what.
No,
Maybe.
because it's so easy to shut it down. That's what they do, though, right? That they shut everything down.
Well, I'm
like I'm open
well,
to
like
hearing from people that have like. I think that's what makes us interesting, Sam. Is we'll just listen to people. We don't have to agree with.
yeah.
People.
I'm definitely open to like hearing from skeptics and whatnot. But like the thing
like
it is once
I believe that maybe a man can wear a man purse. Maybe there's a justification for it.
I mean, look, man purses. I don't know if you can justify that, but
Right.
wearing a satchel. I mean, look, sometimes I don't want to be wearing a jacket all of the time, and my hands pockets can't carry everything. So sometimes you got to throw on a satchel and
I
throw
use
it
a
over your
back.
shoulder.
I got my backpack
Yeah,
right
well,
here.
when you're sitting down in a wheelchair, wearing a backpack can be a little bit cumbersome.
You can put it around the wheelchair. You can put it around the wheelchair, Sam. I know you can. You know how I know you can? You know how I know you can? Because I've been around wheelchair before, Sam. And I've had to use one, and I know people that use them, and yeah, that sounds like a weak justification. But it's not like you wear a man purse, so it's fine.
No, I wear a
like,
satchel.
Not like there's anything anybody should look at anyway.
I'd like to point out that's been there for like the past that's like been in there for the past like 4 weeks, and no one has noticed until Shuley pointed it out earlier tonight.
Well,
so I'm also surprised.
Go ahead, Sam. What are you surprised by?
I'm also surprised that like no one since Apex Gamma has tried to like look at the titles in my bookshelf and like figure out what I have there. Maybe my camera's not sharp enough.
I don't think we could see it just because the glass is reflecting. So even if you really zoom in, it probably won't show.
Yeah. See, my choice of literature is interesting.
They're all porno books, aren't they, Sam?
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
No.
Sam's a lover, not a fighter,
Listen, I know some people love Glenn Beck, but not in that way. So
not in like a Steven Crowder kind of way. Like a Steven Crowder behind the bushes, know, at a truck stop kind of way. On meth,
which
allegedly.
Which, by the way, like I don't know what's going on with the whole Steven Crowder thing, and like
I just know people hate him, and like I always see wild allegations made at him, and so I just think it's funny because I don't listen to very many podcasts, as you know. But what do you think? Because you listen to way more of him than I do. That's a guaranteed fact. I guess he's in a messy divorce and people are accusing him of being gay or something. That's how closely I've looked into it, Sam.
Well, Mersch like tried to trick Owen Benjamin into thinking that Crowder was gay because Owen is a closeted gay guy, and so that was where that whole rumor like came from. My whole thing with Crowder is like he's I mean, Crowder's a grifter from Canada who LARPs as, like,
He has funny bits here
an
and there,
American.
but I can't sit there and watch his whole show. Is that a fair assessment? I'm not like that. Like some of the talking to people on campus and stuff I found funny over the years, but Crowder doesn't interest me enough that I'd sit down there and watch 2 hours of him bitching about the news, you know?
No. When he did like an hour, when he only did like an hour long podcast like 10 years ago, it was good then. But like once he started doing like a whole 2 hour show, like I don't know. Crowder is one of these types of people where like people seem to either love him or hate him, and I don't get like, and I'm just kind of meh.
How about that Trump trial?
On-
Speaking of shit we haven't really covered. Some bullshit. I know that interrupts the Crowder thing, but I feel like it's more important, no? Fuck him.
Yeah,
He's kind of boring, and he gets himself into trouble. Trump, speaking of in trouble, Trump's never boring. He's in a bit of hot water, Sam. He's not allowed to attend Barron's graduation. Did you see that?
I mean,
oh shit! Apex
I
says
actually
got room for one more. Send the link, Sam.
Hell yeah, we got room for one more. I'm sending you the link right now, bud. Yeah, no, I saw that the Trump trial started today, Max, but I did not see that he's been barred from his own son's graduation. That
because
sucks.
it would be the day of trial or whatever. So if they're in trial and he goes, he'd get arrested, Sam, for obstruction for contempt. They're going to arrest him if he goes to Barron's high school graduation. Great stuff, right? They're totally not being tyrannical and trying to punish their opposition party, who is the confirmed candidate of the opposing party in the upcoming general election or anything, right? It's certainly not election interference on a grand scale or anything like that, huh?
No,
he fucked
nope,
the porn
not
star,
at all. Oh wait,
he fucked the porn star. It's the end of the world, Sam.
Oh wait, it totally is obstruction.
Would you fuck Stormy Daniels in 2006, Sam?
No.
You wouldn't in 2006, I'm saying. That's when the alleged affair happened.
In 2006?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, fair enough. She was like Playboy and
26.
Like, that's like your type, right?
No, that was Karen McDougal who was the play.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Playmate.
Sam's an expert on both like Trump's exes, flings, and also playmates. That's like his intersectional, like most field of knowledge. My mistake, Sam.
But no, it's fine. It's fine. No, here's my question is, do you think this trial actually has any teeth, or is this going to be like another
They get to the defense gets to pick at least some jurors, and all they need is one.
Because I feel like I mean, here's the thing, like with Trump trials, I'm like, what is this like? This feels like Trump.
That's why they're threatening him with contempt stuff, is they want to put him in jail. But like, do you really want to have the Secret Service take over half of your fucking jail? Because that's what'll have to happen, right?
Totally.
It's almost like a witch.
I sent Apex the link.
Yeah, it's almost like a banana republic.
Hello, check.
You're coming in loud and clear, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it is almost like a witch pursuit thing. I actually just watched that episode today.
I love that show so much. It's so good. I know we talked about it last time I was on, but that whole fucking show from like season 5 or 4 until current, I haven't seen a lot of the most recent episodes, but it's all like it's crazy how much cultural influence that show has had. Like the whole Minecrafting people, and I mean that started on South Park, you know.
The member berries thing.
Member berries. There's a bunch. I can't think of all of them off the top of my head now that I'm wanting to talk about them, but I noticed.
I mean, even going back to season 1, oh my God, I killed Kenny, or they killed Kenny. That's like, that was a cultural meme even in the 90s, right? South Park, and there was a different show back then too, because it was a lot less kind of cultural awareness. It was a lot of just sight gags and like low hanging fruit. They've stepped their writing up quite a bit since then, but they were a meme even then. The cultural relevance goes decades at this point.
I just think that the way one of the biggest ones that gets me every time I like restart, because I never start from season 1 or even 2, I don't think, because some of those are just maybe if
I love season 1 still to this day.
No,
that's
they're
my
fantastic.
favorite.
They're fantastic. But Mr. Garrison's fancy new vagina, when Garrison turns trans and then decides he's not trans and like loses his shit and goes looking for his penis
because he grows the penis mouse.
Yeah, the penis mouse, exactly. But like just the whole, I mean, obviously the trans nowadays aren't doing that, but a lot of them are, you know, killing themselves or deeply, if not deeply regretting their transition. So it's like, I mean, that was fucking like 20 years ago that episode came out, you know? Yeah. And it's like a perfect comedic representation of what's happening now in that particular section of society, you know?
Yeah, I actually did not know what like a trans person was until I saw like Mr. Garrison's like character do that. So like, yeah.
And now he's like a bad satire of Trump. It's like the craziest character arc in television history, if you think about it.
Yeah, and
because before he went trans, he was gay with Mr. Slave, teaching the kids with the guy in the classroom with all his dildos, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then
they shoved a hamster up his ass.
No, yeah, of course they did. Yeah, Lemmy-Winks is a legend. But you know, if you remember correctly, or if I remember correctly, sorry, the Mr. Garrison transitions and doesn't talk to Slave. That's how Mr. Slave and Mr. Garrison break up, is because Mr. Garrison's like, well, now I'm a woman. And then when fucking Slave leaves him, he's like, well, go on, you fucking faggot. You know, and turns into like starts playing the whole woman character, like, well,
becomes a lesbian. He has the whole like 300 parody with the lesbian bar.
This is Lesbos. Yeah,
great stuff.
This part, no, and I think they have. That is I think the reason the show's so good. There's a lot of slips and misses here and there, but how simple the animation is, obviously, from the jump that. Their ability to animate a show in 6 days almost every week for fucking 25 years now or more, whatever it is crazy. But also the way they write,
the sharpness of the writing, that when they do hit, it fucking sticks.
Oh my God. Like, it's so consistent. Like, you know what I mean?
And
go ahead, Sammy.
And not just that, but like some of like the long-term joke setups too, to where like you don't quite like to where like obviously there are jokes that they'll do like every episode, but then they're also like long running jokes,
bro,
that like go throughout like a season.
That's a very good point. And they have gone even further than that, just going back to like season 16, 17, 18, where it starts with the one of these threads starts with the Yelp reviewers. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's like a season where Cartman is a
Yeah,
Yelp reviewer, and Gerald, Kyle's dad, is a Yelp reviewer, and they all think they're the top shit. But from there, Kyle's dad, Gerald, develops Skank Hunt 42 character because he gets on the
Yeah.
internet to be a reviewer and then become like, it's so like true to reality where like a normie joins the internet for the first time and they're like, oh,
the whole troll arc with him
it's
was
incredible.
amazing. Yeah,
It's
so
incredible.
spot on to how it kind of rolls out of
Yeah.
control too.
Yeah.
If you've been involved in any internet trolling activities, it's exactly how it goes. Is where you don't even remember the guy's idea whose it was.
Yeah.
And then it always ends up in an insaner way than you meant anything to go, because people are fucking crazy on the internet.
You wouldn't know. Well, clearly none of us would know anything about trolling or anything like that.
Yeah. No,
We're
but
good
what,
boys.
No,
I think that's truly incredible. If I'm not mistaken, though, I do think that that from Yelp reviewer to Skank Hunt troll arc spans from one season to a next. It may be that within a season, but regardless,
yeah,
the pinnacle or like the whatever the climax of that whole arc is, the troll trace.
Yep.
Over in Norwegian. Yeah, they've got that.
Got to crack down on all those trolls.
Yeah, they're gonna it's gonna release everyone's private information, and there's like some black weird autistic kid that gets burned alive because he calls his redneck daughter Optimus Prime or some shit. But anyway, the dude running Troll Trace is just an American dude that's trolling with the Troll Trace. He's like, and then like the climax of the whole arc and the particular episode where it ends is Gerald and him on a fucking like a Star Wars type raised fucking little thing, like a walkway or whatever.
Yeah, platform.
And they're arguing like Gerald's like, no, what I do is funny. And even though like a woman killed herself doing what I do, what you're doing is fucked up. You're trying to release everyone's information. He's like, what's the difference? It's fucking beautiful. If you or your listeners haven't watched it in a while or ever, it's definitely worth revisiting.
And the beauty, I think, in the writing in some of their episodes like that is like, if you've been involved in trolling, it's not only relatable, but also pokes fun at you, right? And you have to kind of take it as an audience member. The same is true of the famous, very famous, it's not a meta arc, but the World of Warcraft episode. As a World of Warcraft player, every World of Warcraft player will quote that episode to this day because it hits home in a lot of ways, like the overdoing it for no fucking reason, basically. And we all kind of understand that about ourselves.
Yeah, and what's beautiful is you World of Warcraft nerds have your own entire fucking South Park episode that is also pretty fucking awesome.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and,
it's hilarious.
And if we fucking quote it just to this day, if you make a quote from that episode in World Chat and WoW, somebody else is going to make another one.
Mom, bathroom.
Go ahead. The other one is every time somebody hits the max level, they'll say, what do we do now? Well, now we play the game, because it's actually true.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Sammy.
I think also what's brilliant about the whole Troll Trace season is that is the same season where Garrison actually runs for president and then wins. And
I was going to say that earlier. Where Garrison is also, I know it was actually hated at the time, and I didn't watch it when it was airing, but in retrospect, Garrison's Trump is it's so good. It's so good.
Well, because it's not the parody that they wanted.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fair one, Yeah.
Go ahead, Sammy. Sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry, Sam.
Well, also though, what's funny too, though, is like there is the corporate media's entire cope after Trump won was that he literally that the internet literally trolled the country into getting him to office. Like, yeah, that was the whole cope, was that a whole bunch of like internet trolls got him into office. Now clearly, like there was more than that, but just if that was true, then literally that would be like
Then stop
life
making
meaning
Gamergate
art.
2 and WarHammer happen and fucking woke D&D. I don't know. Iron Age of comics. Like all of these things are coming off now. I mean, they've learned not. If they actually think Gamergate caused Trump, and some of them do, they would not be doing the things they're doing. But they're just stupid, and like a lot of them are like ideologically driven for clicks, because it financially benefits them, and so they're just basically disingenuous pieces of shit. Like those sneaky Chinese, Sam. My wife's not here, so I get away with that one.
That was going to be my next question. I'm assuming at this point South Park, I haven't watched it in more recent seasons, but I have to imagine that they've made fun of TikTok.
The episode where Towley makes Randy say "fuck the Chinese government" is probably my favorite episode in South Park history.
That's the one. Is that the same one that Kyle, Stan and Stan's a death metal singer, and they do yes, that is an incredible episode. Especially
and fucking Randy goes to China and he fucking kills a hooker with Mickey.
Yeah. Oh. No, but one of the things that gets me every time.
Eats a bat. I'm sorry, he eats a bat. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He started COVID. It's actually worse than killing a hooker. He started COVID with Mickey Mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's both of them.
Wait, he
Randy did is the one too. I didn't imagine that.
Yeah, Randy started COVID, Sammy. Yeah, he started COVID and raped and killed a hooker with Mickey Mouse in China.
So wait, Merch was wrong then.
So that he could sell cheap
Jim
weed
Medicare that started COVID. It was.
Oh yeah, right.
it was Randy Marsh that started COVID.
That's true. Both equally believable premises, by the way, in the real world that we all live in.
Yeah.
But before I forget, I don't know if you guys remember when Garrison, after the whole arc, when Garrison bombs, he like nukes Canada because Kyle's mad about turns into a Karen, and he's like, this shit, you can't have fart jokes anymore, blah, 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 whatever. And anyway, convinces Garrison to nuke Canada, and then he goes into hiding. And then there's the whole Whites family, and everyone's talking about only the Whites support him. Like if it weren't for the Whites, this, that, or the other. And it's so perfect, man. Like it's not.
Their episode on Charlottesville was actually on point and like kind of robbed it of the dignity that the Charlottesville people would like, while at the same time not like just moral panicking about it. I think they handled it.
I'm sorry to keep running on about South Park. We can
no. I mean, we already did all the talk. You got anything on the topics of the day? We got World War III.
Well, no, but I do have
Hammer. Fucking anything you want, man. You got the floor since you just came in.
Do you guys remember a couple years ago over in Kenosha, Wisconsin? There was a little kerfuffle.
Yeah,
where Kyle Rittenhouse.
Oh yeah.
Run for his life and used the firearm he was carrying. After he killed the pedophile and was running from the mob, and was knocked over or tripped or whatever exactly happened, I can't remember. He and dodged, or actually, I think he killed the skateboard guy. And then turned around to see I think his name was Gage Grosenkreutz or some crazy shit. You guys remember that? The dude that got his elbow blown out?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was like
Anyway, he changed his name recently to Paul Prediger, which sounds phonetically a lot like predator.
It does.
He would change his initials went from GG to PP, and Prediger, I suppose, but there's no way. I looked. It's the first time I saw it on Twitter. I was like, that what? It literally, it's fucking with my brain a little bit. I mean, at least it did at the point that I saw it. That's when I tweeted about it. But I've seen a few other people talking about it since then on Twitter. But yeah, it's odd as fuck. Why would you pick? You know what I mean? Such a high profile person.
Fucking edgy.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well, that's a lot of them. Like, I mean, they can push that now and be edgy, right? Back in my day, it was like throw up a sign of the beast, and it was the end of the world. You can't. It doesn't work anymore. You gotta be a fucking.
I had everything I owned taken from me by my stepmother when I was like fucking 14 because I was listening to Slipknot, and one of the songs on that first album starts with like this weird record scratchy like voice going 8 7 6 6 6 5 4 you know what I mean, like skips on the 6, and I with my cool clip around back of the head earphones back in, you know, like headphones back in the late 90s early 2000s was just mouthing the lyrics, I guess, in a quiet car because I don't know, I mean, normally she's listening to her own music, but she heard me count the whole thing because I said all the words. I was a fucking little kid.
You're being edgelord. It's cool. Yeah.
I wasn't even. I was just.
Well, it's the song, but like you're listening to it a little bit because it's edgelord. It's fine. It's like barely being edgy.
I didn't even realize what was wrong though. Like
right.
I didn't know
it's
that
just a cool aesthetic
thing.
The whole song about teenage angst and stuff, you know.
Sure. Yeah. I suppose. I don't know why that came up, but
hey, we were all edgelords at some time. If you're not an edgelord, you end up being a massive pussy, and also those people
or a serial killer.
Yeah, I was gonna say mentally unhealthy was gonna be my thing, but yeah, there's a serial killer of some kind.
Now I got that song in my head.
The trick is you also got to grow up from being an edgelord at some point because it ain't helping you out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to. You
don't have to. But
if you want to like be
Ralph, you know,
anything productive or sort of happy, I suppose.
You be Mersh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really productive.
The happiest person on the internet, I think.
who he wanted to get recognized by Medicare so bad, and boy, he finally got Medicare's attention big time.
Oh, hey, I have a topic. Sorry, this is a sharp change of topic, but did you guys see that there's like a rolling blackout on 911 services in the country? There's like 6 or 7 states. It started in Nebraska. Now there's up to like 6 or 7 states
that can't possibly end badly.
Yeah, that can't possibly be very good for most people, you know.
That's kind of what Shmuley was getting at with his FAA article, that their hiring practices specifically exclude people that are interested in like science and math. So, because it encourages the hiring of African American women because they're not as good at those things on the test, you see.
Yeah, sure. And that's all well and good, but those
what I meant is it's tied together real quick just by the idea of it being a competency crisis, right? There's less competent people in positions, to do this kind of stuff, and so shit just falls apart.
And you also have to consider that the lax procedures, as you just mentioned, would also invite a tremendous potential for bad actors. Yeah, you know what I mean, to just slink their way. I mean, if the
whether from within or without, because we're bringing so many people over the border and nobody knows who they are.
I mean, look, we got American citizens blocking one of the biggest major traffic city bridges in the country because they're pro-Palestine and shit.
Yeah.
So
there's just gonna be riots over the summer. I'm sure of it. If you're in a big city, I'd be aware of that. Yeah, election year, Sam.
It's
gotta bring out the riot.
Shit's gotta start.
It's almost like I've been writing about these riots in the sequel to
What is
the
that
Fourth
sequel?
Estate.
Here we go. What's that called, Sammy? And where can people get it?
It's called The Fourth Estate. You can buy it on Amazon and
The next book.
Max.
The
now
next
that
book.
he-
Hold on. The next book's name is a spoiler at the end of it, so he can't say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
but
Not
the
yet.
one
Not
that,
yet.
But the one that I'm writing about right now, Max, definitely deals with riots and whether or not they may be planned. Or well, most riots are purely organic, right?
Sure.
Yeah, wink,
Except
They're
wink.
definitely not coordinated.
Yeah, pallets of bricks don't end up organically in hot spots over the country over the course of.
No,
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, they totally do. So yeah,
Yeah, some.
but no,
Mac-
it is.
Go ahead.
To me, it is. To me, it
Hey
is.
guys, I
and
just
this
broke this
is
window.
kind
We
of
should loot this store.
you-
White guy says as he runs away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Weird
Yeah.
that kind of shit, huh?
It You mentioned the bad actors thing, Apex, and that with the whole competency, and that's also what I was getting to. Like the one thing that does kind of freak me out is, like, I'm sure that you guys have seen that, like, United Airlines hired they hired some trans activist as one of their
That's what Smoothie was
lead
going to talk about
pilot
before he ran out of
trainers.
time.
And we might want to do a bit more due diligence, considering that the last time we allowed unqualified people to take flying tests and whatnot, they crashed 2 planes into the Twin Towers.
Damn, I didn't think you were going to go
So-
there. That's pretty based.
Yeah, and they went through a long, I don't know what the fuck my point was going to be, but that was a long time ago, and standards were a lot higher. At least I think they were.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what concerns me is if the standards are this if the standards are this
racist,
low now.
man. What are you talking about? I'm worried about you tonight, buddy. You
Okay.
can't have standards because then
Well,
the jobs won't go to black women then, Sam. And then what? What would we do without the black women doing the fucking aviation?
I mean, they seem to be pretty happy on welfare for the last couple decades.
Well, I'm not.
But I'm just kidding, folks.
Well, I'm not
Make the planes land safely, Sam, without African American lesbians.
I mean, and just women, period. Let's be honest. I mean, you've seen women
Well,
behind the car that has wheels and it's on the ground.
Well,
Yeah. Nobody is safer at directing
Well-
traffic or being part of traffic than women. Am I right?
And no one gives better directions. Are you kidding? Have you ever gotten directions from name a woman that's given bad directions, and I will call you a liar.
Again though, Max, you say that who's gonna that we need we need black women to help land the plane,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But there are lots of people who want to take flying lessons that are that are not interested in the landing. So there's no problem if someone's not interested in landing. If someone's interested in flying a plane but not landing it, then
they're
why
a
would
pro.
we have to worry?
They got this shit. That is a person who is confident in their ability, Sam. You should give them immediate
Yeah.
and a license and skip the in-flight hours and everything. Simulator? Who needs a simulator? Get up there, Ahmed. Go fly us a plane and make us proud.
Yeah. It's not like
For
anything
diversity,
bad has happened.
equity, and inclusion. Godspeed, Ahmed. Oh fuck, Allah be praised.
Allah Akbar.
Well, if a terror attack does happen because of DEI, I'm going to. Well, obviously, it would be a tragedy, but it would also be like horrifically funny too, in a way.
Well, it's part and parcel of living in a major city, don't you know? It's part and parcel of DEI. Like, this is just the reality. Look, for the privilege of having, strong, opinionated women of color running everything, that's the price that you pay. And I think it's a very small one, if you ask me, Sam. Sounds like you're on the wrong side of history tonight, buddy. How do you not want black lesbians with smarky opinions to run everything? What, you don't think Wanda Sykes should run the country? What's wrong with you, you racist?
I mean, Wanda Sykes actually, that's a bad example. She might actually rule. Just kidding.
Everyone flipped out when I suggested Condoleezza Rice might be a good president.
Look, but, I don't want to like.
That's just because you wanted to do things to her, Sam. You don't actually think she's a good candidate.
I mean, the truth is,
Condoleezza Rice.
The problem is women. I don't care what color they are.
Correct.
You know what I mean,
women are the problem.
We need to keep women out of everything. Except
we're keeping it classy tonight. I said the Chinese are sneaky, and now women are the problem.
It's true. Look, both of those things are true.
They are true.
We all need to wake up. I mean, have you ever seen videos of the Chinese people stealing birds in the park?
Oh my God. Think about this one, though. Chinese women.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm just saying.
China.
It's the worst possible combination then if they're
the Chinese women stealing the birds. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Just in general, like if Chinese, are sneaky and women are the problem, just think about Chinese women, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, again, going to South Park.
Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, again, going to South Park, Chinese female drivers are the worst. So
no, that's not true. According to South Park, senior drivers are the worst. There's a whole
absolutely
episode.
True.
Yeah, there's a whole episode. For horror movie.
Wait, no. Wait, no.
But imagine a senior Chinese lady.
Oh man, there you go.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Oh. No, the Chinese woman driver, that was a Family Guy bit.
Yeah, that sounds more like a Family Guy bit. I bet you there was an old Asian woman in the South Park episode, but they didn't make it Asian. It was just old people. Huh? What's that? Like they were upstairs in their house.
No,
the car comes crashing.
No.
I love that shit.
No, the episode. So I saw an episode of South Park today where it was they did like a take on the old people's home, but it was like prison bit.
Yeah. Where they're trading the little figurines. Yeah. They gotta play like gangster music, gangster rap and shit. Dude, that's a good one too. And then again, the climax is fucking Stan's grandpa beating the fucking old woman to death with a bag full of her own little trinkets. It's just it's so good. It's so funny, dude. That show's still, I cannot believe that. The Simpsons for the longest time was my goat when it came to animated, comedy, whatever, sitcoms, just comedy cartoons.
Yeah.
And Family Guy's had its moments. I liked American Dad too, but nothing comes close to South Park. Like for the overall package, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, The Simpsons has kind of like lost its whole zeal since
like 15 years
since
ago,
that-
though.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you hear
Yeah,
we're gonna get Sam an N-word pass?
Oh, Sam's had the N-word pass.
I know.
I've said it on the show a bunch of times. That gives him the pass, as far as I'm concerned, as a straight white male.
Oh well, I figured it'd be a great title for an episode, right? Like the Whitfield Report. Sam has an N-word pass.
Sam gets the N-word pass. No, we should get damn it, what's that bodybuilder's name? He's an ROTC and Mersh fan, but he's jacked and he's black. You know what I'm talking about.
The black
Trent.
guy.
His name's Trent.
Yeah,
his name's Trent.
Yeah, Trent.
He's fucking absurdly jacked, but he's also incredibly short. But it would be fun. Maybe we'll just get him on the show and say, Sammy, get him to bully you into saying the N-word. That would make for good content. As a matter of fact, I'm about to tweet that directly.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm sure there's probably several black guys that would enjoy doing that, right?
That's true. Maybe we should throw it out to the public instead of just inviting.
Have a contest to see which one, earns the right to bully Sam into saying the N-word.
Hard fucking R, man. I would love that.
And it's true that there's like several candidates who would do that.
Oh
too.
God, yeah, no, 100%, absolutely. There's also probably an equal number of not black people that would go to extreme lengths to convince you that they were, to get you to say the N-word.
True too.
You know what I mean? Going back,
and then there'll be a whole bunch of people that acting like they're really upset about it, like it affects them at all.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
that's the best part of the whole thing.
Then there will be a whole thing.
And that's why I said the joke is that he has the pass and never says it on the whole episode.
No, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it.
Huh.
That's the whole point. Whichever black guy decides to come into this show, they're gonna come in with their own material. That's gonna be part of a prerequisite. They're gonna have at least a couple of stories that Sam's gonna have to like read and talk about. He's gonna have to refer to certain people as N-words with a hard R. Yeah.
I'm sure.
We'll see.
We could definitely crank the pressure. The thing is, does he crack though? I think he might stand tall.
Hold on, man. I've seen this man's feet so many times. I've seen him take his shirt off so many times. All it's gonna take is a couple of donos. Throw some fucking donations.
True.
And Sammy will be dropping hard R's until the
books.
Buy some books. Do some donations. Yeah, we can get this done, folks.
Sam smiles because he's like, they found my weakness.
Oh. Listen, if someone wants to throw a few donos, but they have to be like big dono.
Okay.
Donos,
what is the goal?
Right? Like,
what is the N-word goal, Sam? How much would that goal be worth?
500.
That's exactly the number. That's exactly the number I was about to say.
Okay. Is it cumulative or does it have to be all at once?
Cumulative.
It can be cumulative. But I mean, hey, if someone can raise 500 or more to go blow in Vegas, where it gets comped, free drinks like a high.
And what would you spend
the high roller?
Your ill-gotten N-word gains on, Sam? That's the interesting question.
Time out. Hold on. Before you answer that, Sammy, Max, are you holding a deodorant stick in your hand? Is that what you just put in front of the camera?
No.
No, you had a green thing.
No.
Oh, it's a lighter.
Oh, dude, the way you held it, it looked. Holy shit, that perspective was fucked up. Jesus Christ, that fucked.
No, I try to lay low because I'm smoking, and I feel like it's a bit annoying to do it like right in the camera.
Yeah, no, but it did not look like a lighter. Like I looked right at what you were holding in the front of the camera, and it just didn't look like a lighter. Sammy, answer the question now. Sorry.
Yeah, what would you spend the money on? Because that might make it awesome.
I'd probably. Why I'd probably like pay off one of my credit cards with it.
That's a fair look in this economy. That is the best answer. Pay off debt.
You know what? You could even do something like five hundo for the first N-word, and then every $100 after that, you can drop another one.
There you go. You gotta have stretch goals, right?
You know what? Like I actually like.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Sam.
Make a living off of getting Sam to say it. You know?
It's not a bad idea, man.
That gives me another idea.
Do rap karaoke, you know, to bust out like 10 of them at a time.
And it has to be. It has to be. Go ahead, Sammy. Go ahead.
That gives me another idea because like Max and I have been considering like starting a GoFundMe to get me like a new manual wheelchair. And so like we could tie that in somehow so that when the cancel mob tries to come after me, we could say, yeah, but all those N-bombs got me like a new wheelchair. So
that's the idea. I mean, we've been looking for other ways, like, you know, but the only thing I ever said from the beginning, like, well, if we're ever just going to directly ask for money for something, like ask for the thing you actually fucking need, right? Which is a wheelchair. It's something that's out of reach normally, you know? So that's a fair wish if ever I've heard one before.
Hold on. I kind of missed the last couple of seconds because I had a thought going on. What if within the goal, not only does Sammy have to say, you know, the hard R, but everyone in the call, all of the co-hosts, but it's not like at the moment you hit the goal, you have to say it. You have to incorporate it into talking. You know what I mean? So it's not jarring.
For Sam's wheelchair, it's worth anything. Yeah.
For every $100 after that, you don't have to just fucking pop out with a, you know, or whatever. You could just be like, you could just call me or Max. Sammy could call me or Max, or I could call you, Sammy, or Max, or vice versa, the N-word mid-conversation, and just make it a hard R.
I would accept, we could random DMX lyrics if they're relevant.
No, we could quote some like crime statistics. Dude, look, people would pay. So look, there's some Bitcoin fucking Sam, you missed that, but I was just saying we could.
I don't mind because like here's the thing.
I don't either. I don't care about
some of the people we're inviting on go outside of that kind of paradigm anyway. Like I have leftists that I'm working on getting on too, because talking to interesting people about shit you're not supposed to talk about is fun. Yeah. And Rumble's letting us do whatever we want. So like, that's what I like. Sam is the best interviewer. So it works out so great that he gets these people on and they kind of, I don't know, for some reason they open up to him pretty easily.
I have a pretty good hunch as to why, but
well, because he's such an easygoing guy. You know, he's not fucking faking anything, like putting on airs and being pretentious like a fucking grifter. Here we are. It's like, the end of the day, like get Sam a wheelchair is like the one goal so far we've had for anything, and that's not selfish at all.
Wait, we're trying to get Sammy a manual wheelchair. Is that what I said? Heard you say?
He
Like a
needs a
rope?
new wheelchair. Sam?
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been trying to get like a new manual wheelchair for the past couple of years.
Hold on,
But
hold on.
like Medicaid,
Hold on. What is that? What is that type of wheelchair? Explain that, please.
one that just like I can just push around the
With
house
your
like
with
manual.
your arms, like you
Yeah,
just
not
roll the
a
wheels
powered
with your arms.
wheelchair.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. I just
yeah,
making
because
The powered wheelchair would be
Yeah.
way more expensive.
no, of
And-
course, yeah. A manual
And,
wheelchair.
his problem is getting around the house, and the manual is a little easier to get through doors and things.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, instead of fucking crawling through the goddamn house
Right.
when you need to, you can just scoot your little booty out the door there.
but the thing of it is like the manual wheelchair, like in order to get like one that actually like properly like fits me, it still costs like $3,500 or something like
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah, they're not
not
fucking cheap.
they're
I know
not
that.
cheap.
Yeah.
The power
And,
chairs are in the 5 digits, but the
Yeah, no,
manual
they're
ones
a
are
car.
4.
They're like a fucking car. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a car.
Hi,
Exactly.
Chibi.
And
But
and also unfortunate for Sam, right? Is like they're paying $50,000 for a transition for some trans person, so they don't have the money for his wheelchair.
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
That's basically what the conclusion we've come to.
But again, I think if it doesn't, maybe the N-word thing was
A bit extreme, a fun experiment of thought.
Sure, but that idea it works because everyone here is very free speech, and as long as you're not,
that's what it is.
As long as you're not being hateful with using the word, then it's very obvious what you're trying to do. You know what I mean?
That's why I know there's so many base black guys that would be on board with this, because I know a lot of black guys that are like, yeah, that like acting like it's the biggest deal in the world makes it powerful, and I'm not with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's
just straight up taking the power away from it. Like, oh, somebody said a word, it ends your day, kind of thing. Like, who does that serve?
Yeah, it only serves to hurt you if it, if a word you know what I mean? That's the same thing with faggot or retard, like any of these words that we're not supposed to say. And I love I don't know who it's from off the top of my head, but the idea that if you're bothered by the word retard, you're not retarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not like physically retarded enough to be bothered.
Like I'm kind of a retard, right?
I'm very retarded. Yeah, I'm very retarded. And
I find it offensive that I'm not allowed to talk about how retarded I am sometimes,
Yeah. No, I don't like I have a worse perception of myself than most people do. So you can call me whatever you want.
GB said, "Don't forget cunt." Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Chibi. Shout out. Chibi be out there working hard at her lunch lady grind, and she's like the ultimate lunch lady. Not to blow up her spot, but
is she a British lunch lady? Because cunt that's a rare one here.
No, we were talking about cunt the other day as being one of those words that people kind of put too much emphasis on as being offensive.
Right. Yeah. No. Of course. Yeah. No. Cunt's a great word.
Yeah. Well, I find a lot of the visceral slurs have a thing in common where they have a harshness to them that indicates that they're a slur just by hearing the word. And that's true in other languages as well.
Oh, damn. She's American. I like her even more.
Yeah, she's a West Coast.
Oh, damn. Blowing up her spot. You fucking commie piece of shit, JB. Get out of here. I'm just kidding.
She's married. She's married though too. So.
Talk about blowing up her spot. What does that matter, Sam? She's a good friend of the show. She's also going to be part of the chick cast that's coming up.
No, she is.
Yeah,
maybe she can say the N-word for money.
That'd be a little trickier than even Sam, I think.
Look,
Well, listen, me being crippled, like I have a little bit of a shield.
Well, our network is called
But,
Right to Offend, and like the whole point is to like stand for that kind of shit.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought.
yeah.
It wasn't.
Iron Man, a friend. I haven't been keeping in touch lately, but a guy I've known a long time once made a very poignant statement, I think, and he said that in a time of full-blown political correctness as an act of war, saying the N-word is an act of revolution. Even if it's something silly
but
and
also,
stupid, because it upsets the order. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you guys.
But
I genuinely, sorry, Sammy, real quick. I genuinely wish there was a word for white people that was equal to the N-word. I really do.
Oh,
and because I would.
The news. I'm white trash. Johnny Fox says I'm white trash. Is that?
I mean, white trash it's not even close. Apparently,
it's not. But you know what? Here's the part. Like breaking news. Johnny Fox exposed me for the thing everybody already knows about me.
Holy shit, you're white trash.
Honky.
Wow, you couldn't tell? Yeah, it was literally grew up in a trailer park. Then I moved to the hood, and then I moved to like a farm town. I'm white trash. Wow, what a shock.
Sorry, Johnny, that doesn't absolve you of your degeneracy, buddy.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Also he got me because I'm a juggalo. You see, that's the big one.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna have to leave now. Sorry, guys. Bye. Have a good night.
It's funny because like it's like, yeah, of course. Like that. Oh, it's a big secret, Johnny. My wallet is literally ICP. I've had this for like decades. It's such a well-made fucking wallet, bro. It's
all of my gayest best friends, oldest gayest best friends are all juggalos. So you're not alone, Max. It's fine.
I mean, it's like, look, man, I was in the underground music scene. I met a lot of really cool people. And I don't see this as some big revelation against my character, but it's also not a secret. We've been working to get like artists that I met in that journey to fucking come on the show. So yeah, Johnny, good one. You got me. I'm done. I'm a white trash juggalo. Got him. Owned. Sam, I have to quit the show now. My reputation is ruined. Because surely my reputation before that was like I was a white trash weirdo with long hair.
Well, Johnny's just upset that like I've got like actual here you want some dirt on me real quick?
Shit.
I'm connected to the feds.
I knew it.
Yeah, literally retired FBI agents have like read my book and left reviews. So I must be a fed, right?
Bitch. Come on, Sammy. I'm just kidding. That's awesome, actually.
But that's what some of them have said. He's a fed. He's got like literal FBI. Yeah, no shit. I've got.
Well, hold on. I mean, look, those fucking retards. They can say that, but have you spoken to any of these people that have read your book that are former FBI agents? Are you in contact with them?
Yeah, one of them I tweet back and forth with WarHammer.
Well,
he's had several guys. I don't want to like blow smoke up their ass, but that have impressive resumes on the show. Yeah, Steve Stratton is one of them, right?
One of them is Steve's like a former Green Beret.
Yeah,
former. So. But the point is, I mean, well, I guess none of these fuckers are former anything when it comes to the highest echelons of the military. I don't think so. Maybe you are a narc, Sammy. Maybe you're fucking maybe they're trying to fold you in, buddy.
That's the point.
Maybe
he's sneaky. He's gonna take over the whole thing.
Yeah, he's gonna take over the United States clandestine military.
Hey,
the
book.
Hey, if anybody could do it, it's Sam.
That's
not
true.
The book.
It could be.
I like to think it's true.
The book royalties are clearing, so
I don't know.
That's what
I have
matters.
Yeah,
faith in
Sammy.
Sam, and things like that happen, right? It seems to just work out. So I kind of just trust in that.
Yeah, look, Sammy, I am not gonna deny my glee for your success with these books, and I don't give a fuck who buys them. I want everybody to buy them. As long as them
Me
buying them
either.
time out, as long as them buying them doesn't pull you into some weird thing or group of people, or like, you know what I'm saying? You don't like meet people by look, I bought all of your books, and they probably wouldn't tell you they were former anything, but just be cautious of somebody, just people in general, I suppose. I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I get what you mean. Well, a lot of the people who I associate with who are like former military are like authors themselves.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
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 They see good promo, and then they help him
Absolutely.
out.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's been great, like he's had Terrence McCauley on. That's awesome. I saw you were talking about his what was it, Chicago 63. I haven't got around to that one yet.
Yeah.
You gave a review for that.
And as someone who's tied in with the Kennedys, you might find it interesting, Max.
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, a little bit. You hang out around New England politics, you meet people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, speaking of which, do you hear about Robbie Kennedy lying about being a potential VP nominee? The reason I say lying, I believe that somebody with the Trump campaign might have suggested it or floated it. I'm not going to say nobody ever said it to him, but the idea that he ever got a formal request to be the VP candidate is laughable, and everybody should laugh at him for saying that.
There were definitely like people in the peanut gallery saying that he should be Trump's VP. Mostly QAnon wackos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
By the way,
like some mid-level fucking Twitter account said to him, "Hey, would you like to be Trump's VP?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got asked." Because that's what he said. He's not lying when he says he got asked. I just don't think he got asked by Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a bit of a stretch, Robbie.
Well, yeah, like I said, Bobby, I mean, he wasn't going to go anywhere to begin with, but the fact that he literally has like a card-carrying Pinko Kami as his VP now, and she is a commie. Yeah. His campaign, it wasn't going anywhere to begin with, but it certainly isn't going anywhere now. So
yeah, good stuff. Politics is always funny. And then we move on to stuff that's more important, like South Park.
Yeah,
I think we already covered that.
It's still more important than the actual presidential, especially like Robbie Kennedy. But I had to point out that he's a goof, because it's funny. But I don't think it deserves any more time than that. Sam, what else you got for us, Sam? Rapid fire. We can.
Also, and let me see if I can pull this up here. Basically, this came out yesterday. From Christopher Rufo. Basically, NPR. One of the executives was basically caught saying that NPR is basically going to be a gateway.
With a Y, right? Like gateway.
Yeah,
pretty much. Let me see here if okay.
I think it fits with the theme. Speaking of that, Sam, that maybe the stars are aligning and we should burn some pride flags for Pride Month. That would be offensive.
Now, look, before we hit play on this, I would
Yeah.
probably have sex with that woman.
Are you
Just
sure it's a woman yet?
No, but just preliminary, just
Okay.
for content.
Fair enough.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. So
I think
for
it's a
those
woman too,
listening
though.
on audio, yeah. Exclusive, Catherine Mayer says that the number one challenge in her fight against disinformation is the First Amendment of the United States, which makes it a little bit tricky to censor bad information. And the influence peddlers who spread it. So basically, NPR says fuck the First Amendment.
Can I before you hit play,
And
Sam,
people-
can I point out a thing that might be relevant here? It looks like they're in a hotel.
Sure.
These people get tricked so often
Yeah.
by like a hot date that it's fucking hilarious. Go ahead. I'm
Oh,
assuming
yeah,
that's what it
easily.
is, a hot date scenario.
The number one challenge.
Yeah.
The number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of rights, and that is a protection of rights both for platforms, which I actually think is very important, that platforms have those rights to be able to regulate what kind of content they want on their sites. But it also means that it is a little bit tricky to really address some of the real challenges of where does bad information come from and sort of the influence peddlers who have made a real market economy around it. The number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of.
Okay, so
Wow.
So why do I bring this up? Because basically NPR wants to get rid of the First Amendment in order to get rid of disinformation. And I've been saying that, of course, the corpo media wants to do that. Like I was saying that 10 years ago. Everyone thought it was crazy, but here it is in pretty much like living color.
What do you mean?
Now.
I have no idea. I was blinded by the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean it seems kind of obvious. It's just we've come to this point and we've been here, but it's only like the two edges have only gotten closer and closer over the last handful of years, where this woman has basically grown up in a different world. She doesn't understand what any of that shit means, the Constitution and free speech. She's probably, I'm just speculating, but probably lived in a big city and has been rich for her whole life and has dealt with, various minorities and probably a lot of difficult situations in her own right, but she has no idea what the real world is for the majority of the country that are outside of those major cities, the ones that produce their food, the ones that, build their transportation and shit like that. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say she reminds me of she looks like that feminist chick who used to come on the show that we had back when we used to do the whole GSK Owen Benjamin thing.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Apex.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She looks like a spitting image of
what's that? You should explain it to him. He has no idea.
No, yeah, okay. For the audience, I'll break it down real quick. The GSK was the Gamma Secret Kings, which is a Reddit that as far as I understand is still active. But it was we tried to do a show once a week with what's his name, Sammy?
Oh, Scorpio?
Scorpio, that's it. Yeah, with Scorpio, one of the mods. And it was basically just like an Owen Benjamin / uncensored.tv, and that bald weirdo whose name I also can't remember. Vox. He calls himself Vox Day.
Yeah.
That's that fucking retard. But it wasn't. They had their own the whole Reddit crowd and Scorpio. They had their own agenda, and they tried to come onto Sam's channel, and I mean, this is my perspective. I'm not speaking for Sam or anybody else, but it seemed to me that there was a lot of kind of intent to control from that end. It just didn't really mesh very well,
Yeah.
They were basically trying to turn me into a locale, and the fact that
literally,
I was fighting on,
which is challenge impossible, by the way. I want to point out.
Yeah, I mean, they literally they were trying to turn both of us into locales. Yeah, that was kind of it seemed to be their expressed intent, although not openly. They thought they were so clever because, again, they're fucking Reddit faggots.
Yeah,
but that's fine. I'm sure they're fine people, although I know for a fact that at least a couple of them aren't, based on photographic evidence that I've seen. I won't explain any further, though. I hope they listen to this, though.
I'm sure some of them will. I will say that I did jump back on that. I don't think the subreddit is really all that active anymore.
Yeah, probably not. What the fuck do they have to talk about? Fucking losers. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, ironically, after David Crocco passed last year, that Seb kind of shut down.
Damn.
Not officially, but
damn, that's actually
it stopped.
That's incredibly damning to that particular subreddit, that a junkie that was barely alive for his entire time on the internet,
he was the only thing really keeping it together.
I mean, look, I had no real issues with Davey, but he was fucked up and never had his shit anywhere close to straight. And for that to be the fucking crux, if that was the reason they stopped, the Reddit died, that's very funny to me.
I don't know. I don't know if it
is. Okay. I don't want to put that on you.
I don't know if that was the reason, but what I am saying is at least from where I'm sitting, it seems like that subreddit kind of petered out after he died.
Right.
After he died.
That's what he's saying. Is it's ridiculous because for that guy who had nothing together to hold it together, and then him dying, it all falls apart, is just kind of miraculous,
And maybe there is also, I get what Sammy's saying, is he's not trying to say that that's why it happened. He's just pointing out that from his perspective, that's just when it happened.
Yeah. On some level, I hear you. We're not sure because you weren't following it either yourself. It sounds like.
Right. No, definitely not. The only time I ever went onto the
funny because
go ahead, Sammy. Go ahead.
Well, and what's also funny too is it wasn't even Davey's subreddit either.
No.
Right.
It's the one thing he got some real recognition from, though. He got a lot of followers from his own shit.
Yeah.
He really did. So he always hung around that crowd.
Yeah.
He always did, including me. He was every so often. I mean, I have DMs from him up to a couple of months before he died, where he was like, "Hey man, can you come on the show?" Owen did some shit, and no, dude, I'm working, but I mean, look, rest in peace, Davey. He was actually he was a good dude, but he was not.
Yeah,
he was not the pinnacle of human society. He was not very smart. He was not very clever. or very hardworking. And he was he was a recovering junkie. I can empathize quite a lot because I might end up just like Davey. There's a good chance because I can't get my fucking shit together either. I don't do heroin, and I haven't done heroin in a very long time. And I did it actually a couple times. So fentanyl's not really a worry, but what it is just, just the natural decay of
just entropy.
Yeah, entropy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's the existential crisis every man faces. You ain't alone there, man.
Sorry to pull it there.
No, it's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, like no one gets out
Man,
alive.
I feel old. I'm not the stuff on Sam, but I feel old. I went for a walk. See, this is the thing. It's so funny. Like, people's defense for everything is to just accuse you of being terminally online. And I thought of that while I was outside looking at the falcon flying around us with my wife on our 5-mile walk on a spring day. That how funny it is that the automatic thing is to say people are terminally online, and I'm like barely online. It's just that I say like 5 things on Twitter and people get mad about it,
Yeah, most of that shit's projection, but Chibi, once again, for the second time I've been on the show in a row, is correct in that we interrupt the fuck out of Sam, and I feel like I try really hard to be like, "Oh, go ahead, Sam, go ahead," and I still fucking do it.
She's great about policing it.
No.
She's like the best, actually.
She's better because Max will just like talk over me. So that's kind of
sometimes I do it to add to the meme, like just there.
Yeah. And then, I mean, the truth is, I genuinely care about what Sammy has to say, but I'm such a fucking retard that if I don't say, "Hold on, Sammy," and get out what I have to say, then when he's done talking, I'll be like, "What were you saying?" I'll be like,
and you forget.
I don't fucking know. I don't remember. And then, it brings.
Have you watched some of his one-on-one interviews with these writers though?
I mean, not recently, but I've seen some of Sammy's interviews in the past for sure.
He's been on fire, bro. You should go back and watch some of them. They're really good.
I love to hear that.
Like nothing is better than, and he did a solo show like because he still does a solo show Mondays. And when he has like news he wants to talk about or something he wants to say, it's good because he cut a speech from that about like why he wrote his book and like the need for us to stop bitching about shit and do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And it went kind of viral.
The fucking manosphere people, like the Andrew Tates and the Fresh and people, they fucking hate me now because I said, look, you guys are just as bad. Like, I hate all the like left-wing feminist tranny BS as well, but you guys are doing the exact same thing, just on the opposite end of the spectrum. Literally, right. You guys are like, granted, there is something to like telling guys, motivating them to like work out and improve on themselves, but then they do but then they like have all these like unrealistic expectations, and they're also hypocrites because they make fun of these OnlyFans girls. But then they always end up messing around with said OnlyFans girls, and
or in Andrew Tate's case, they fucking literally groom dozens of them into the OnlyFans lifestyle, and then fucking berate and ridicule them. It's hypocrisy to the fucking nth degree. It's incredible. It's crazy how fucking stupid people are.
But these young guys, man, the toxic, I hate to use the word because it's kind of their word, but like the levels of feminism that they're exposed to, it's not like even when we were kids, it's like, yeah, girl power, and the girls can be included too. And sometimes it's kind of cringe. No, it's like girls are better than you. You're just a stinky boy. Right. Sure. And it's no surprise that some of them react to becoming trannies because it's better to be a woman. And some of them react like Andrew Tate's, young fans, where they just kind of hate women, and like there's some moderation in that. And I would urge a lot of them, since they become religious, to consult scripture. Hey, a lot of them become Muslim. Even Muslim scripture doesn't say to treat women like complete shit all the time and impregnate a bunch of women and not take care of them and lead them into like a promiscuous lifestyle and then feel good about it and all that shit, right? Like, if you're gonna go with like scriptural tradition, whether it be Christian, Judeo, or Muslim, it's all about kind of a partnership. Like Eve was made to pair with Adam and stuff. You know, like you don't take women's shit, but that doesn't mean you treat them like shit either. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a softie. But I see the people saying it look like a bunch of bitches, and they're all a bunch of beta males. You know?
Yeah.
They're
No,
all
I mean,
like little guys.
It's true. Look, the problem, as with most popular trends online, is there is a firm, or rather thick vein of truth in the women fucking suck sort of category. You know what I mean? And it's not all one.
You know who
thing.
knows that the most too? Fucking women.
Sure. And I mean, I'm not saying it's exclusive to women, but there is always truth to like stereotypes and shit. And it's race related, it's sex related. Most of them exist because there's truth to them, you know?
Right.
And
not all, but most.
hashtag not all. Right. Sure. But look,
but if you ask most like sane women who aren't caught in some political sphere, they'd be like, yeah, hoes be trifling. You know what I mean? Like that, like they know it, because like even a girl who's like considers herself a good girl and has standards about women knows what a hoe is.
Sure.
Right. And she doesn't think highly of it.
And I mean, this again, just to be fair, I definitely recognize a piece of shit slut for a dude that's manipulating women.
Yeah.
To get, whatever they want.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said I haven't done that at points in time in my life. Go ahead.
The spurring out that some of these male Karens have done, the like just defending Andrew Tate is just like hilarious.
Well, look, I mean, it's like, just it goes back to the Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan thing, though, right, Sammy? Like they're all just looking for a daddy. They don't have a dad that will talk to them the way that these kids talk. It doesn't matter that what they're saying is bullshit, but they're saying it unfiltered, which is something,
part of something too. That's
right.
Yeah. And these kids, they don't know anything like that. They don't know whatever religion they may have in their life has been shoved down their throat since they were a kid. I mean, I grew up in the late 80s and early 90s.
Or they just didn't have it. One or the other.
That's what I said. Yeah, they either didn't have it or they grew up forced down.
Sorry, I missed that.
In most cases. No, it's okay.
Well, and also the other thing too is, and Max and I talked about this, is like they took away a lot of extracurricular activities for young men too. Like the Boy Scouts is like practically dead.
I have Boy Scout what do you call it? Fundraisers at my store. No, I have like fundraisers where they like sit out and sell stuff, coupon books or popcorn and shit like that. And for the last year and a half, it has been entirely females. Yeah. There's Girl Scouts too, and that's all girls, and they sell their cookies. But then the Boy Scouts has been a couple of girls and like an adult dude or like a late teenage dude.
But here's the thing is that it's kind of like Sam's book. Like he took it upon himself. There is a thing that, like, because I'm a dad, so this kind of hits close to home, that I was a scout and I can't just take my son to scouts. It's not my scouts. It's just not.
It's not the same. No, of course.
If that makes me a bigot, I don't fucking care. Because I want to impart the same, because scouting affected me, man. And Sam can probably say this too. It's part of my, like, I might be a bit of a scumbag, but I still like have a fucking code, man. And that's a part of it. And I can't import the same code to my son through scouting, except that I could, because the scout manual from back in the day still exists. And I could just start up a troop and just not call it the BSA, and have his friends and we'll go out and we'll camp and we'll learn about values and we'll learn about love of God and country. What's stopping us? Nothing. Finding a bunch of dads that would be down for that, because they're all like, man, that ain't my scouts either,
Well, the only thing that is stopping most people is societal pressure.
Yeah.
And that's the only weapon left. That's the only weapon left, guys. Most of us know it. We know what our kids need. We know what our families need. We don't know how to do it in a lot of cases. We don't know what exactly to do, but we know that
and there's no roadmap because of the fucking technological aspect of it.
no,
We live in
the
a
truth is there
different
is.
world.
There's a lot of roadmaps for
There's
a lot of
roadmaps, but I'm saying we are experiencing novel challenges in a lot of cases that you kind of can't. I talked about this famously. I had a great interview with Augustus Invictus. If you're not familiar, he's like a Senate candidate and stuff. Interesting guy, really cool. And he's a dad. He's got a lot of kids. He's got 11 kids actually. And we were talking about that exact thing. Like, you can't ask the baby boomers how to navigate like TikTok, you know what I mean, with your kids, right? We have to figure out how to navigate this society with our kids in ways that they don't know how to navigate fucking Facebook for themselves to put up some pictures for their granny friends in their sewing circle. So they're not of much help when it comes to like the impact on your kids and what they should and shouldn't be exposed to. That's on you, dog. Right? Just like it was for them. You're right in the way it's not changed. They had to navigate these things. And there's been things like, tales and myths and scriptures and religions and philosophy and everything else written to try and fix this. But we have to figure out how to apply that within this kind of new tech world. And it is difficult sometimes. You have to make hard decisions, and sometimes your kid fucking hates you. And sometimes all the other kids get to play Fortnite. Why doesn't he?
Yep. No, and it is a fucked up world we live in currently. And
you just got to do your best and have a code,
Yeah. Yeah, you really do have to think about at a certain point, and even as a disgraced, nearly 40-year-old man that does not have any children or even a fucking, girlfriend at this point, I recognize the importance of like you're sacrificing yourself for the next generation. Like what you think and feel doesn't really matter. It does, of course, but the impression you're making.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, I work in retail effectively, and I deal with kids pretty regularly. Some of them are bad, and some of them, their parents are overwhelmed and they've had a long fucking day.
Just hand them the iPad.
And no. I mean, look, I live out in the country, so these kids, what they do is run around and climb on shit, and they're just over energized because they don't have a fucking thing in front of them. Some of them do, but most of them don't. And it's me who has to be like, hey, do not climb on that. It's very dangerous.
Fair.
You're like, hey, stop running. Look, you see that? That's very sharp. Someone could walk around the corner and hit you with that. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying this is not a playground. And then the parents are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, man. Like, no. I get it. It looks like a fucking jungle gym. I've got a bunch of pallets of fucking feed stacked up. That one looks like a staircase. Like I would climb that if it wasn't working right now.
What they're doing looked fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but it's dangerous, and I'm responsible for this fucking store right now. But yeah, that sort of thing is, and even when I'm not working in public, I've done this. I can't even count how many times when a kid's just fucking screaming or overreacting to something, and the parent, the mom, most of the time is like, blah, whatever it is, like just.
Kind of overly worried about it. If not,
well, like
in your mouth,
something, some typical thing, like the kid wants something that the mom's not going to buy, and the kid starts freaking out and crying, and you as like the next person in line is like, what's the matter, buddy? What's wrong? Why are you hurt? Are you okay? What's wrong? You're talking to a little 4 or 5 year old kid that clearly understands what you're saying, and just that little injection of someone outside of mom who they have total control over probably most of the time is like, I'm just a male figure. I don't think that I know for sure that my voice impacts younger children when I use it. You know what I mean?
Oh man, the cool thing I have to say, because like I don't envy that position, because being a dad, I get to use my dad voice like without shame, and it works so effectively.
Mm-hmm.
If I use my dad voice, every kid stops and looks. It's great.
Yeah.
And half of them will do, if they're doing something wrong, will stop doing it, even though it's unrelated to me at all. And it takes one syllable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the time I'm talking to him, you know, something like this. Hey, kid, what do you think you're doing? Get over here.
You know, something like that.
If I do my wife will look. He just did.
Yeah.
Now she's looking at me like angrily.
The thing.
What am I up to?
The thing.
Go ahead, Sammy.
The thing. Max has been good. No need to worry, ma'am. No, the thing that the thing that annoys me isn't so much unruly kids, but I've noticed this trend where the kids will be like trying to get their parents' attention or just being generally rambunctious. And the parents, for whatever reason, people like to say, oh, these kids are addicted to their smartphones. And it's yeah, maybe, but bitch, also, adults are addicted to their smartphones.
No, you actually bring up a good point. Sorry to interrupt you real quick, but it has a lot to do with neglectful parenting these days.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of kids that grew up with screens in front of them and wished they had more screens, and also don't want to deal with their crying.
And wow, there's less buffering. It's great. This is perfect. That's what I would have wanted.
The kid can fucking watch everything they want forever, and I can go over here and do blow or fuck some dude or go to work or just work. Exactly.
I'm not even talking about that though. I'm just talking I went to the store a couple weeks ago, and I saw this poor kid who he was saying mommy, I have to go to the bathroom, but the mom was engrossed in her iPhone or whatever. She was completely absorbed, and I felt like saying yo, lady, your kid needs you.
I would say
stop
that.
Scrolling Instagram.
I would say that.
Yeah, no, I actually did clear my throat. I did clear my throat and say, ma'am, I think your kid needs you. And she kind of looked at me sideways.
Well, and look, I will approach that the exact same way every time, where I assume that the parent who's being neglectful is overwhelmed. They've had a long fucking day, and they're not really paying attention to the kid that's probably been screaming about shit that doesn't matter for 6 or 7.
They live in this same shitty inflation world where you don't get paid enough and everything costs too much, just like we all do.
Exactly.
That's what I've really we focused on this show a lot is the material conditions suck, and they didn't suck a couple years ago. If you want to talk politics, that's basically been my stance. Also, no war, right? That's why we don't talk politics much. We talk shit like this because it's far more relevant. Just dealing with kids out in public. I find, being stern is okay for me because I'm a dad, right? And it's kind of obvious. And I'm also super polite though, so I don't come across as threatening if you give me the chance. Although I look threatening to some people are threatened by my just very presence because I'm a big hairy motherfucker, right?
Sure. But my point was I think that one of the things that we've really lost in recent years is the idea of community.
Yes.
The idea that,
oh yeah,
the idea that you, Sammy, or anybody else would be afraid or worried about being like, ma'am, I think your son needs to go to the bathroom, and her freaking the fuck out, or whatever. But not having the comfort in your own ability to speak to another human being in regards to a child is so fucking, it's baffling. When you really break it down to its elements, it's fucking crazy, because things have changed so rapidly. over the last 30 years, as far as the way everything in our society works. Like there are robot fucking cashiers. There are robots in our computer. I mean, it's
and we're
crazy.
expected to pretend it hasn't.
Sure, we're supposed to. Yeah, we're supposed to just treat it. Again, I think the push is for us to not treat it like it's always been, and to adopt this new, fucking evil, degenerate.
Just don't ask questions is the real thing.
Yeah, this very self-interested sort of method of society, which is fucking wrong. I mean, it's wrong. It's wrong. You should, of course, be worried about yourself, but you are not the only person here, and you should always consider the people around you, and they should always matter. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that is a simple fact of life.
Were you here, Apex? Not to intrude too much, but when I talked about I just recently went to a funeral for a family member that was sort of close to us, and it was actually my son's great grandfather, and he was a policeman and a firefighter, right? And like the whole community actually came out for this man because he's like a hero in his community. He had to retire because he got burned in a fire saving people, right? In the line of duty.
Sure.
And so he got like a full honor guard for his funeral. And then for the service, we drove by the firehouse, and they had us stop and get out, and over the radio they broadcasted a message about his life and that his final alarm the day he died is his final alarm, right? He got called the last time.
Sure, yeah.
And they were all standing there saluting in full uniform. Like so I still have a connection to community, right?
Yeah.
But it is weird seeing younger people, like they can't even talk on the telephone. They have to text.
Look, I mean, we're not completely lost. There was a story, I feel like less than a year ago, of a fucking like 20-something-year-old pizza dude that ran into a house and saved a couple of people and suffered severe fucking burns. I know he saved an infant, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe a dog. I can't remember the exact story, but I watched the video. The dude's burnt the fuck up, wearing his pizza uniform, and he's chubby as shit too. He's a tall, chubby kid, but he ran into this fucking stranger's house that was on fire. It's not lost. It's certainly not lost.
To the micro degree like that in your day to day, you kind of can be the change you like to see in the world, like
absolutely.
I've literally, I told the story on the show. I feel like I may have intimidated a guy out of robbing the local convenience store, mostly because it just pissed me off. And like the idea that he was going to do that, it was like pure rage, right? Like, how dare you? He had a gun out and he started flashing it. And I gave him a fucking dirty look. That's all it was, because he looked at me and he looked at it and he put his hand on his fucking butt of his gun and he was like, it ain't worth it. And he left. And I felt like I was about to die, actually. I felt like, that moment where you say I'm a retard, but then I also feel good about it because like, even if nothing was going to happen, I was out to look out for the betterment of my community because these are the people I see all the time. I'm not just on a phone. That's for real. That's not just a gimmick I talk about on the show. I walk like 50 miles a week sometimes, just out with and I do use my phone. I listen to music. That's pretty much it. I don't even listen to podcasts anymore because I find most of the driveling and droning and grifting drives me insane.
Yeah. Well, and that's the difference though, is like, most, I don't want to say most, but a lot of people would see that gun and immediately fear for themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas, you or other people in that situation would, if not push through it, they would ultimately save people's lives if something came down to it, because I
don't know what I would have done, but I know that I was motivated to action, right?
Sure. Yeah, you were vigilant at that moment. If he came storming in that fucking store after you with that gun out, you would have been, mentally prepared at least, which would have put you above everybody else in the store.
And my wife fucking hates that I have this instinct, and rightly so, because it's fucking reckless.
I don't think it's reckless. It's more, I mean, again, I think it goes back to like defense of your community and the betterment of people around you.
He
And
said he's the father of a grown child. Yes, it's reckless.
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. Okay.
And she's right. That's what I say. She's right. But like on an instinctual level, I like crave, like order around me. Like I don't want.
I mean,
like the girl at the register, just to be real about it, is the girl that would give me a free coffee on top of my order every single time. Like she never made me pay for coffee. How am I going to sit here and watch that be in danger? I don't know her name. Well, I don't know for me, but I see her all the time, right?
In the hypothetical that, sorry, Sammy, real quick. In the hypothetical that you were injured or, God forsaken, killed in the defense of that convenience store, I don't think your child would forget about your wife. Certainly wouldn't, and nor would anybody else involved. And I think
yeah, it's reckless. But she understands my reasoning still. Sure. She just doesn't agree.
Sure.
You're also though, Max. I mean, I think it is fair to say that you are in a position to where you can, to where like you literally are physically in a position where you physically can. I might have the willpower to, but me being in a wheelchair, like realistically, even though I could run over like somebody's foot, I'm not going to be. It's probably not a good idea for me to be, I mean, sure, it's reckless. It's reckless in your case too. I'm not denying that, but it's even more so in my case if I were,
But like I said, like we talk about the lack of a positive male influence of any kind. Like I got my honor code between like Boy Scouts, growing up Catholic, whether I'm Catholic or not, that affected me greatly in my moral code. And also combat sports, particularly karate, right? And all three of these things instilled a code of goodness and honor in me. Like, regardless of religion or philosophy, I have a code, and it's my code. I don't think it's anybody else's. I formulated on my own, but you have to like read what's come before to kind of come to that conclusion, or at least ponder it to some degree. And it's
sure,
tough, it's tough to do the right thing sometimes. Sometimes temptation is the easiest thing in the world. Whatever you believe about the Bible, it says that, and that's very true, right? Giving into temptation can be the easiest thing in the world. Damn the consequences, right? And that's the struggle, and having humility helps, I think. And all of these things I picked up through positive male influence, even though my dad was an alcoholic that didn't meet me till I was 16 years old, and my stepdad's a complete piece of shit. I had better male role models outside my home that kind of kept me grounded. So it's not impossible even to come from a piece of shit broken home and find yourself with a code, Yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed the last probably 45 seconds. I had to pee really bad, but that's just fine. based off what you just said, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like, it's very important for us, even as strangers, to be upstanding, moral, and heroic in as many ways as we deem we're ourselves capable. And I for sure. I have a skewed perspective because I don't have children, and I maybe spoke a little freely to you as to your position as though I was there. Because again,
it's interesting to hear your perspective on it, because you're trying to navigate the same problem, and I have what's basically an easier path to do it just by being a dad, right? Because like women will give you more leeway to do that shit just because they know you're a dad. Right, they see your kid, especially they all know my kid, right? He's like the most popular fucking kid in the world, but that's a whole separate issue. You don't have that luxury. Like, there's not your kid right there that they all know who your kid is, so you can't just be like and yell at somebody's kid. But I totally can, and so it's interesting to hear your perspective on it, because yes, you're encountering the same problem. I'm trying to stop this kid from hurting themselves, essentially, right?
Yeah, and I mean, truth be told, I don't really have any negative stories about it. It could have a lot to do with where I live.
But what I'm saying is you have a different approach for a different set of reasons, and I find that fascinating, because so many young men just don't navigate the problem at all, right? They
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean-
will just stand there and watch.
Yeah, I always, interestingly enough, I always get like two things. One, I always get the why aren't you married? And they mean in like a positive way, like you would be a great husband. But what's also interesting is B, you would be a great dad.
Oh, Apex
And
would
on
be a
that
great dad
one,
because he's thoughtful.
Well, I mean, I was a pretty, at least I think I was a pretty good stepdad for almost a decade. It's kind of why my whole world has been
Yeah.
fucked ever since.
But that's I think where we can unite. If I may, I have another reference to a similar aged piece of media that might kind of wrap that concept up, right? No Country for Old Men, right?
Great movie.
We're talking about that old country that
Oh,
used to be better, and it's true. Things are fucking different. But what's the fucking revelation? Not to spoil a fucking almost 20-year-old fucking movie that won an Oscar, but what's the revelation at the end, right? Is that his dad lit the fire, right, and passed it to him, and he's supposed to light the fire for the next, right? And maybe it isn't his son because he don't have kids, but he lights it for the deputies and shit, right? And so that's kind of what it is, man. We gotta light the fire for the next generation if nobody else will. I do feel I am the sheriff in that way. That's literally me, the sheriff in Old Country for No Men. And even more than that, right? If you kind of think about it, the fucking the killer in the movie, Anton, might not even be real. It's just his way of trying to make sense of this cartel that's just killing people, trying to get its money back. But it's much easier in the old days. It would have just been one guy, one really good guy who can do all this fucking shit, right? But it's not the old days. Anton's not real. That's why when he confronts him at the fucking door of the hotel room, you see Anton inside, right? And he opens the door and he ain't there because he ain't fucking real. It's a cartel. It's senseless violence, and he's trying to make sense of it. But the lesson in it all is to fucking pass that fucking flame to the next generation in any way you can. Because that's the only thing that'll keep it lit. There's no country for old men. Get it?
So you're saying Anton is a hallucination in that movie?
No. Because the sheriff's telling the story, right? It's the book too. The sheriff's telling the story, right? And the sheriff doesn't understand this newfangled fucking world. Because in his day, all this violence would make sense. There'd be a guy, right? A bad guy that you could stop that one guy and it would stop all this nonsense. But that one guy ain't fucking real, dude. That's why
don't they refer to him by name? Like, don't several characters refer to him by name in the movie, though?
Yeah, but the sheriff's telling the story from beginning to end. He's the narrator.
Okay, sure.
So in his fucking reckoning, instead, what's going on is there's a cartel operating, a bunch of hitmen sent out to kill these people that they think stole their fucking money, right? But what's really going on in the sheriff's head is there's got to if he gets this one guy, he'll break the case, right? But he's not behind that fucking door because it ain't like that no more. The world is senseless, and the only thing you can do is pass the fire on to your son. It pretty much says that explicitly in the book.
Right on. I'm not familiar with the book, and I have not seen the movie in a long time. I was just kind of going off memory there. But yeah,
Sure,
I mean, that makes sense.
I felt like it's relative to you because you might not have the son to pass the torch to, but you can still pass it.
Well, and
I feel like.
Go ahead, Sam.
I mean, I feel like that's what even I'm trying to do in my own way with the show.
You still got plenty of time, Sammy. Beautiful.
You live us all.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but again, that's what I'm saying. Like, people keep saying I would be a great dad, and I'm sure I'd like to think I would, but until I have an actual kid of my own, you know.
No, Sam would be the best dad.
It wouldn't
Ladies.
be easy. It wouldn't be easy. There's nothing worth doing is, as they always say, you know.
No, it's like the thing about fatherhood, it's exactly what they've said, man. It's been very hard, but it's been so fucking rewarded. There's nothing I feel better about in my life than creating my son and trying to guide him through life. You know, I don't talk about it maybe a lot on the show because, or I do to some degree, but I could talk about my son all fucking day, but it's because he's the light of my life. It's the joy that I have because I came from such a shitty upbringing, but I still found a compass to guide me. I try to pass that torch in the best way I know how. But I know a lot of guys, man. I have a friend that, he went and got a vasectomy. His recollection, I'm not going to tell who it is or anything. It's like not anybody would know. But he's got all this like mental illness problem, right, over the years. And he's straightened himself out. But he's under the belief that he might pass that on to a child, and he can't do that. He doesn't think that's fair. And like, I think he'd be a great dad. Actually, I think he'd be a better dad than me. But it makes sense to me. I understand where he's coming from, right? So I just support my friend. It's tough out there. And a lot of people say it's a tough world to bring a kid into. The thing is, in my case, we didn't plan it because we were told that it was impossible. So for us, it's a miracle. My son is our miracle for sure, 100%. And he brings joy to everybody he knows. It's crazy. Now people know me as Dean's dad, and Dean's dad's awesome. And the old schoolyard adage of my dad could kick your dad's ass. Nobody questions whose dad could kick anybody's dad's ass. Yeah. And I'm the cool one that likes like music and stuff. And is funny, right? I always like to make jokes with kids, right? And try to be like approachable because kids are interested in a huge guy. Some kids are afraid, right? And some kids want to joke with you because they're scared, and that's how they break the ice, right? You know how crazy it is being the person at like a K through 4 Kiddies Day event at the school, man. All the kids I have to either be cool with all the kids or they're all gonna be scared of me. There's no in between. And because they're all best friends with my son, all of them, and all the girls are his girlfriend. And he got kissed on the first day of first grade, Sam. I've told that story before.
All right, hold on. So you're going to keep going on your son if we don't throw a wrench into you talking about your son, who sounds amazing. Yes, you did. And I let you go because he sounds like an amazing kid, and I'm happy for you. But Sammy, go ahead.
No. What I was saying, Max, is like I can kind of relate to your thing of being a tall guy because like I'm the wheelchair guy, and so
you're the guy, right?
When I
it's a different kind of quote unquote freak, right, for kids. So so to speak. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So.
And it's natural, right?
Like when I went to Colorado, the last time I was in Denver, and I went to my kids, and I went to my little sister's, school for something. Like I was the strange, giant, and like in a big mechanical. They know what a wheelchair is, but it's still kind of, she was at the age where it was still kind of strange to them.
Well, it's a big world, and they got to learn about it, and experience things and stuff that's new to. I don't freak out that kids are like, you're big, right? Like kids will come out and straight say it to you. I'm sure they say it to you, right? Like, oh, why are you in a wheelchair, right? Whereas adults would never say such a thing.
I've had adults. This is another thing that annoys me. Like I've had kids like come up and ask me, like why I'm in a wheelchair, and then like 5 seconds later, their parents will be like, "I'm so sorry." They'll apologize, and I'm like, "It's fine." Let me explain. Like, your kid's not hurting my feelings. Your kid's just curious. So rather than acting offended, I'm.
Go ahead, Sammy. Sorry.
Oh no! All I was gonna say is like the thing that drives me crazy is like people who act offended on my behalf. So
I'm offended
without warrant.
I'm offended on Sam's behalf. by everything that has been said on the show in the past, 3.5 hours. We should wrap this up, Sam. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Yeah. 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
I was going to say though, I think that's like an opportunity and that you're already seizing on that you, and not just you, but all of us as men, whether we have kids or not, have an extra opportunity with kids that aren't ours, that we interact with in these social situations, to try and have some empathy, try to understand the kid in front of you, and try to explain whatever it is in a way just differently, or I don't even know exactly what I'm trying to say, but you have the opportunity to like inject like an outside perspective in a way that's not like jarring or overwhelming. Just, be a man without being forceful and sound
Right.
I don't know. You know what I mean? You have so many opportunities when it comes to the youth, and it's not just boys, it's girls, it's everybody. And it's also your peers. You know what I mean? It's literally everybody that you encounter. You have the opportunity to influence either positive or negative. And it's up to you
Oh
to
yeah.
to roll with what they bring to the table, and not just take their bad day or their negative attitude. And you know what I mean? Again, because kids are kids. That's you'll see that a lot. People get annoyed with kids because they're kids and they're being kids, and
Yeah.
it's easy to do that. And I mean, parents do it probably the most because they're with the kids 24/7. But I guess, my point in closing here is just be nice to kids. I guess. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you act a certain way, you're going to potentially you could be that positive male role model that we're saying is missing in the world. That's what I try to do. As simple as that, man. As much as I bloviated, I try to be the positive male role model that I lacked, and maybe I'm a little offbeat, but whatever. That I feel like maybe I'm in a different age than I was raised for, and that's okay. I kind of knew that since high school, since like 9/11. I kind of knew it would be weird.
Yeah, and I'm not even really trying to be anyone. I'm sorry, real quick. I'm not even trying to be anybody's like positive role model necessarily, but what I am trying to do is inject some positive role model into any interaction I have with anyone that I can. You know what I mean? Like,
you never know what will stick with a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Kids are fucking sponges, man. And
the bad stuff will definitely stick with a kid in ways you may never imagine or intend, and it could be forever. Like, you could leave a scar on a kid just as easily as, just saying have a nice day to a kid. They might remember that in their 40s. This one guy made me feel real nice,
I have a few of those memories as a little ass kid, and most of them are bad,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. The bad ones really stick with you. Yeah,
of course.
I just try to leave a few of those and add to the positives. And yeah, we should stop fucking bloviating, right?
Yeah, let's stop yipping. Let's go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me on again, guys.
It's always fun, sir. And now Sam talk forever.
Oh, always.
You wrap it up, and we'll try not to interrupt you at all. Go.
No, I'm gonna mute.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with what these three gentlemen have been saying, and yeah, I mean, I never started this show to try and be a role model, but I definitely think that, if I can share some of my wisdom I've learned in life, and if it helps some people, that's what, that's one of the joys of doing this show, is when people say, hey, I got something out of that show, or I got something out of that interview. That means the world to me, more than any super chat or anything like that. But by all means, if you have to give me money, buy this fine book and The Fourth Estate. And we will see you next week on the Whitfield Report.
What three
Thanks,
gentlemen,
everyone.
Sam,
And,
before we go, like a final question, what three gentlemen? There was two. Do you mean Shmuley too? Oh,
yeah.
Shout outs and love for Shmuley. Okay, I'm sorry. I won't interrupt anymore.
Well, four then actually, four, including Apex.
And buy the book.
But anyway, have a good night, folks. We'll see you next time.
Sweet.
Thanks for listening to The Whitfield Report on the NGC Network. Please visit Sam's website at www.thesamwhitfield.com and support Sam on Patreon at patreon.com/Whitfield Report. Until next time, God bless, God save this great nation, and God, freedom, legacy, in that order.